here at Football Park, an important one for both sides, obviously. The last time they met was in round 6. Port Adelaide defeated on that occasion by 33 points. It was Russell Johnson who got it down to Clifford. It goes up to half forward. An attempt there made by Eichner, couldn't take the mark. They try to run it out through Enright, can't. Through comes Anderson. The handball went up in the air. Harrison backs up. Anderson gets it back. Just gets boot to ball, but the tackle was a good one, and he kicked it out on the full. Good tackle there by Steve Rendell. West Torrens are going to come out of defence now. A long kick up towards centre wing. In the pack there, McIndoe, but punching away was Leslie. Back to half back again for West Torrens. The handball comes out. Sims is caught. The handball goes off hands, and we'll see a throw in left half forward flank there for Port Adelaide.
So Port Adelaide straight into attack right here at the start of the game. Looks like Anderson's going to go for the knock up there for Port Adelaide. The ruckman both staying back in the play. Anderson takes possession. He hasn't kicked it out of bounds on the full this time. It lobbed on the line. Torrens only won twice out of 8 times here at Football Park, so the record's not good. Another throw in. Dwayne Russell this time for Port Adelaide, just lays it over the back. Smith can't put his hands on it. Cleared away by Rendell up to her half-back line. Leslie again in rebound, keeps the ball in play. That's a very good kick to be able to keep that ball in play on his unnatural leg. The mark taken by Russell. What an important player he is for Port Adelaide. His marking power in that forward line, very important to them. A long way out from goal. Port Adelaide kicking into this breeze. It's a very strong kick though. It's into the goal square. Darren Smith's up there, it's fisted away. John Cunningham coming across. He overruns the ball. Robert Enright now with an opportunity. Gets it across to David Foote. Foote to centre wing. It's not a bad kick. Leslie coming back. He couldn't feel the bodies coming from behind him. Hannah at half forward blocks. Now an opportunity for McIndoe. He's playing centre half forward for Torrens this afternoon. They're pushing the back, and the free kick against Greg Boyd.
Number 29 there, Panagaris tried to run away with the ball, but it'll come back to McIndoe. Ball Lindsay short. McIndoe ignores him, centres the ball. Robson comes out from full forward. Pack of players there. It comes off hands. Chance for Russell Boyd. He's caught, but he got the handball clear. Port Adelaide player there dives on top of it. The umpire, in fact, will come in and bounce it. 2.5 minutes into the first quarter. Port is an important game. West Torrens have won 4 and lost 10. Port Adelaide have won 7 and lost 7. Port just in the 5. The Eagles in 9th spot as Kinnear clears to the outer side of the ground. Sims chases the ball to the line, and what a great tussle that'll be between Sims and Anderson. Anderson, one of the favourites for the Magarey medal this year. He's having a good year, but he tends to be... He either takes a game apart or tends to be not too effective, Anderson, but gee, the games that he has played well in have been magnificent. Port Adelaide through Stephen Williams. The handball over. Ginniver it is. He goes up to half forward. Not that well placed. No mark taken. Fiarchi is there, and he'll get the free kick. Played on. Russell got the handball out. Chance now for Port Adelaide. The player over there is O'Brien. His kick is way offline. In fact, out on the full on the opposite side to which he kicked it.
West Torrens to bring the ball back in. Stephen Armand it'll be. Armand kicking long down the wing. Nice kick up the marker there by Economou. Cross towards Hannah at centre half forward. He can't see it for the sun. Panagaris with an opportunity. Russell Johnston back there for Port Adelaide. And the free kick is going to go in his favour for pushing the back. The umpire calling the ball back. He's changed his decision. It's like Dominic Potier, in fact. He's going to take this free. Some interference must have occurred there, Peter. I didn't see what happened. I was watching the player run away, but there must have been an interference afterwards. Potier gives the ball to Economou. Economou straight down into some open space on the outer side. Cunningham with an opportunity. Greg Boyd's going to get there first, though. He leaves it behind. Phelps knocking it off the ground towards the boundary line. Robson. He gives it to Cunningham. Cunningham with his right foot in towards full forward. Lindsay can't take the mark. Knocked on by Potier. Clifford hanging on to a player. That player, Lee Robbins, no, David Foote it was. Ball held to him, so there'll be a bounce right in front of the West Torrens goal.
Well, the Port Adelaide supporters wanted holding the ball. Not there, says the umpire. Lindsay and Johnston. Johnston got his hand to it. Potier runs to the line, but the ball beats he and Panagaris over the line. And there'll be a throw in right forward pocket for Port Adelaide. No score yet. Lindsay in front of Johnston. Plenty of tussling going on in there. It's against Lindsay in favour of Russell Johnston, so he'll take the free kick in that back pocket. He's going to the outer side of the ground. The run is from Leslie. Beautifully disposed by Russell Johnston. Now, Leslie's got nowhere to put it. In fact, puts it in front of Enright. Over the top goes Pays and Russell Boyd. Pays a very, very good player. He's got a lot of balance. Gets it back to Bruce Lindsay. Lindsay's a superb kick normally. That's no exception. David Foote wants to play on. Back to Fotia. Fotia's at half forward. Sets it up from that spot, but he's way offline, and he also is out on the full.
Yeah, it was a very nice movement of play then by West Torrens. Fotia looked as though he had that under control then. Just pulled it across his body too much. Stephen Curtis. It's going around the boundary line. Players setting themselves, coming in from behind Peter McIndoe, but a free kick for in the back's going to go to Russell Johnston. 6 minutes into the first quarter. No score yet. Been a very slow start, particularly for West Torrens, who are kicking with the aid of a breeze. It was predicted to be some 14 knots today from the north-northwest. Ball fisted away out of bounds on centre wing. West Torrens looking for a little bit of team play. They've got to get some possession through that half-forward line. Russell Johnston coming up the ground to take this knock. John Cunningham's there with him for West Torrens. Cunningham with his left hand over the top to Pays, gets it to Lindsay. Bruce Lindsay, that is. Now an opportunity for West Torrens, long into attack, up towards Lindsay at full forward. Over the top it goes. Curtis is in the goal square. Will he knock it through? He won't. Panagaris is with him. They're both hanging on to the player, hoping for a free kick for holding the ball there, but no such luck.
Steve Geyer, I think, was the player who put them in very well on that occasion. Another bounce, knocked away by Port Adelaide, straight to Stephen Williams. He goes towards Anderson, finds that player at right half-back flank. Anderson with his third kick up towards centre wing. Under the ball is Enright. He judged it better than his opponent and took the mark. Lindsay, well, it landed at his feet. It's tapped back. Geyer, in fact, it was. He tapped it back. It comes back to Pays. Pays looking for Hannah. Hannah hasn't got the sun in his eyes this time. Took the mark and played on. Used the right boot. Robson's in front. Phelps behind. Phelps did it better. Got the handball back to Martin Leslie. Again to Russell Johnston. The handballing out of trouble. Fiarchi. Oh, he missed Greg Boyd by a mile. Smith was the interceptor. Back through half forward he goes. A long kick up towards Lindsay. Lindsay's too tall, but he couldn't mark it. Too tall generally. He's just too tall for his opponent. The umpire there is going to give a free kick to Stephen Curtis.
Curtis plays on to Leslie. Leslie coming up member stand side. The kick to centre wing. Justin Smith again intercepts. Harrison playing wide, going for the boundary line side. Might Payne to play inside his man. Opportunity up there, but ball away nicely by Curtis. Harris gets the relieving kick to half back, up towards Harrison. Off hands. And fortunately for Port Adelaide, out of bounds before Dominic Fatia can get to the ball. So there'll be a throw in on the half forward line for Port Adelaide. Still no score on the board. Russell Johnston and John Cunningham. Good throw in. Johnston just tapping it backwards slightly. Stephen Sims for West Torrens gets a quick handball towards Hannah. He tries to kick it off the ground, but only into Leslie. Stephen Williams now to centre wing. Wayne Russell. Now Port Adelaide with an opportunity. Smith makes position in the centre of the ground. He takes possession and drills it at the goal square. Darren Smith on the lead. He's in front, but he can't complete the mark. Arman's with him. Geyer now for West Torrens relieves.
Hasn't relieved too far though, but Andrew Pays is there. He had it, then he lost it. He still got it and got the handball out towards Enright, but Smith comes in. Rowan Smith through half forward he goes, blistering pace. Here's a goal coming up. He's going to set it up. No, cut off by Bruce Lindsay. Oh, Russell Evert not too happy about that because it was a certain goal. But brilliant interception, Lindsay. Pays has got it now. Torrens out of trouble. Arman it was who got the long kick forward. On this occasion, it's John Cunningham sweeping down that half-forward line. Phelps is going to hold them up. Well, the umpire paid him. He didn't have a lot of it, Robert, but he's been paid the mark.
See the game starting to get going a bit now. Players starting to run the ball, the kicking a bit longer, finding a bit of space, giving players an opportunity. Phelps long to centre wing to Russell Johnston. He's looking for. He holds ground under Cunningham. Martin Leslie running on. By gee, he started off very well this afternoon. And up to the half-forward line. Rendell very high. Geyer now. Long handball out towards the pocket. Can't pick who that player is out there. It doesn't matter anyway. McConamu gets possession. Andrew Pays into the centre wing and out of bounds on the full. Russell Johnston will take the kick.
Russell Johnston's taken over that number one ruck spot from David Baker. He's on centre wing. Long high kick up there towards centre half forward. Under the ball is Anderson. Good mark. Rowan Smith again sweeping the packs beautifully over the top of Stephen Williams. Harrison ran past it as well. Justin Smith caught. He's in a spot of bother, and I think the umpire might bounce it. Just on the attacking side of the square there for Port Adelaide. Well, no score, and we're past 10 minutes. Stranger things have happened on a football field. Anderson smacks it to centre half forward. Dwayne Russell, the big man there, couldn't get near the ball. An intelligent tap on towards Geneva. Geneva's got a push, says the umpire. Oh, I think it was only a slight one. But irrespective, the free kick belongs to Tim Geneva. And he's at centre half forward. Dale Eichner standing the mark. Geneva normally a good shot at goal. Got under it slightly. It's fading to the right. Too far. 1 point only, and that's the first score for the game. And it goes to Port Adelaide, 1 point.
I'm not sure whether I can enjoy a game of footy when players keep falling over on top of the ball and slipping underneath players, and when players fall on top they get a free for in the back. I think the rules were made for players who stand up, not for players who fall over. Kick in from full-back. Just a short one by Eichner to himself. Didn't gain anything. In fact, he only ran to the 10-metre line when he finally kicked it. Player come in strongly there. Stephen Williams did it well too. Anderson in there. Very good bit of competition. Now, Geneva, can you kick it this time? Yes, I can. Through the centre it goes. Port Adelaide's first. They're 1-1. Torrens yet to score.
Well, strong body work of Anderson. There he is in screen. He certainly used the body, got the ball out long into the open. Tim Geneva had his second chance in 30 seconds, didn't miss on the run, so Port Adelaide have got the first score. Now, we know that Bruce Lindsay won the toss for the Eagles and kicked to the southern end, so we can only assume that that's probably the end to which the wind is blowing.
12 minutes into the first quarter. Russell Johnston, John Cunningham. Johnston takes possession of the ball. Justin Smith just lets his leg go as that loose ball comes towards him. He's cleared the half-forward line. Smith up there. No, McIndoe it is. Centre half forward. And he taps it out of bounds. So Smith taking the chance with that kick then was a good chance to take because he timed it pretty well and he gave West Torrens an opportunity to get it on quickly into a bit of space in that half-forward line. Robson from his scruff. Hannah coming in from behind. Geneva. He gets a long handball. Greg Boyd, he's tackled whilst not in possession, and he's going to take the free kick.
He's got it at left half-back, Greg Boyd. The run is supplied from Phelps. Phelps is an attacking defender. Puts it up to centre wing. Rowan Smith let the ball go through on him. Then he's tackled without it. The umpire says that's holding the ball. Ooh. It's a bit hard on him. Cunningham, centre wing. Plenty of bodies in there. I don't think they get the ball out of there. There'll be a bounce. I think Rowan Smith may in fact be Port Adelaide's highest goal scorer this year. He's kicked 23 goals. I think he's about 18th on the league list, so they're not getting a great deal up forward, although when you consider that Tim Evans has retired and they've used a lot of people up there, including Darren Smith, Tyler, and Dwayne Russell, of course, has spent a lot of time out with injury as well. Away goes Anderson. Oh, beautifully put. Darren Smith will mark that. Superb kick from Anderson. That wasn't. Eichner cut it off at the pass, and it's his mark about 30 metres out from the Port Adelaide goal.
Yes, that kick spawned a very good bit of play by Anderson. He moved quickly around the back of Russell Johnston then. West Torrens, end right, can't take possession of the ball. Players falling everywhere at the moment. It's getting a little bit scrambly, the football. Clifford in the centre of the ground. He can't take possession cleanly either. Oh, players just picking it up. There's not too much happening at all. Armand's down there. He was named at full back, but he hasn't been anywhere near there at the moment. What a scrambly bit of play that was. See if we can get it going again. Player can put their hands on the ball and get the thing mobile. Rowan Smith come in. West Torrens player diving on the ground. Perhaps he was looking for someone to crash into his back, but David Foote won't get the free kick on this occasion. Bounce again. 1-1 to Port. Torrens yet to score. Johnston coming in from behind. He goes up high, but his leap was a little bit too early. Good tackle by Anderson. Another bounce down. Seems, Peter, that we're not going to have much action if it's going to keep going like this.
They just can't get it out of there, Robert, and the quarter is nearly half over, and we've only had 2 scores, both to Tim Geneva. Brilliant handball, Rowan Smith. Fiarchi on the run. O'Brien couldn't mark it. Dwayne Russell a chance. A high kick, he centred the ball. Armand will punch away, but the man in front is too strong, Darren Smith. Oh, I think that ball dropped just a little bit suddenly for him, and he found himself out of position, and Darren Smith was able to take the mark with the falling ball. 15 minutes gone. Darren Smith a chance. He booted 4 last week. He's the Port Adelaide full forward now. Oh, he missed with that one. So Port Adelaide suffering from inaccurate goal scoring or goal shooting. 1-1, in fact 1-2 to Torrens yet to score.
Gee, that certainly was a very bad miss by Darren Smith. They're running down the middle of the ground, West Torrens, on these kickouts. They're trying a few things. Not sure they're not confusing. So Rowan Smith who gave that beautiful handball a moment. It gets it to Harrison. He's usually a good kick, but he's let the side down too. He doesn't balance himself in any way, shape or form. He dropped the ball everywhere. Didn't get it down onto its point. 1 goal, 3 to Port Adelaide now. Torrens no score.
Paul Weston there, flanked by Peter Filippo on his left-hand side. And Robert again, Rowan Smith with lightning handball setting Port Adelaide up, but they just can't finish it off for him. And he's a key for them. We've noticed in many games for Port Adelaide this year that he's very good, particularly early in a match. Under the ball again, Darren Smith. Gee, that's an interesting move. If he's still playing full forward, he's marking the fullback's kickoffs. The whistle went, a big pack of players there. Ginniver again at the drop of the ball, but he can't break the pack, and there'll be another bounce down. Yes, in fact, Darren Smith is still full forward, and that's an interesting tactic when the full forward goes back to mark his opponent's kickoffs. And Darren Smith up again, tried to get it clear. Rendell couldn't get the kick away. Smith can. Under the ball there is Bomber Clifford. He's right on top of the ball now, and the umpire will bounce it at the true centre-half forward spot for the Magpies.
Those kickouts are interesting because Dale Eichner's kicking out for West Torrens, and the full-back Stephen Arms running right down to centre-half back. They're all grouping in at centre-half back, but it seems that they're not leading quickly enough to get into the space that's been created, West Torrens, and Port Adelaide have got the kickoffs. Foot gets it across. And away go West Torrens now through half-back. Long kick forward by Economou up to the half-forward line. Panagaris jumping high in the air. Boyd taps it on. Leslie. And then out of bounds on centre wing. And the football, not that good at the moment in terms of the ball going from body to body. It's very competitive, but no one able to get it. Russell Johnston for Port Adelaide. The ball just coming down flat. Boyd runs past it. Anderson picks it up. He gets it towards Clifford. Clifford to Smith. Enright spoiling away. Fiarchi coming through strongly. Holds ground well too, and he's going to get a free kick against him. I find that very hard to imagine. Umpire saying he put his hand up and hit his opponent in the face. Well, Steve Rendell gets the free.
Well, there it is, Steve Rendell at half-back. He'll kick long out of defence, way up over the centre of the ground. Martin Leslie under it. Went straight through that player. Russell Johnson playing brilliantly. The handball missed Russell Boyd. Justin Smith for the Eagles kicks high. Cunningham's the player under it out there with Ben Harris. Knocking it away is Stephen Curtis. Robson's the man with the pace though for the Eagles. He's way out from full forward. He's outnumbered by Port Adelaide players, but he does well. Fatia and Cunningham, and he's at left half forward flank. Now Hannah's the tallest man down there. Now McIntyre goes back, but he won't get to the drop of that as Greg Boyd punches away. Comes back now to Jeffrey Phelps. Russell Johnston again in the play. It's an intelligent handball. Boyd it was. Now Greg Anderson. The handball is at Clifford's feet, but he's got enough time to pick it up. Clifford's disposal normally impeccable. On that occasion, no exception. Harrison's a good player. Rowan Smith's waiting for it. He's the spark. Rowan Smith takes off. What's he going to do with it? It's a shocker. Not the best kick you've seen from Rowan Smith. It fell straight into the waiting arms there of Chris Lindsay.
He's just backward of centre half back. Into the centre of the ground. Economou making a lead there. Doesn't take the mark. He quickly gives it to Hannah. To full forward. Robson on the lead. Up he goes. He can't take the mark. Phillips in there for West Torrens. For Port Adelaide. As West Torrens close on the pack. Not able to get the ball out anyway at all. West Torrens, they're kicking into attack. Pretty ordinary. For the greater part of the quarter. Even though they're kicking with the breeze, they haven't scored as yet. Now an opportunity for McIndoe as he gets it across to Fatia. His kick high in the air and out of bounds on the full. The second time this quarter that Dominic Fatia's kicked the ball out of bounds on the full.
Yes, it's unusual too, Robert, because he looks pretty good with his kicking. The style is all there, but they're just not going straight. Now, it may well be that breeze is very tricky down there. You mentioned before that the forecast suggested 17 or 18 knots. and it might be swirling around, particularly at that southern end. The long kick out sees McIndoe from behind. He had it, but he couldn't maintain control of it. Bruce Lindsay now. Oh, left foot kick, not a good one. Phelps it is. Just out from full back. Kicks out wide to Clifford. Clifford, as per usual, finds those open spaces. Clifford's third kick. He's played very well in the last 2 matches for Port Adelaide, Bomber Clifford. Chris Lindsay punches away from Johnston. Fiarchi put his hand on it. Fotia is at the bottom of the pack, and there'll be another bounce.
Port 1-3. Torrens no score. Chris Lindsay started at full forward. Having a bit of a run on the ball. Lindsay just taps it backwards to Stephen Williams. Economy underneath the ball. Doesn't want to take it strongly. Dwayne Russell still fighting for it. By gee, that's good body strength. His handball's a bit loose though. Just goes as far as Bruce Lindsay. Pays out wide. It's a good kick by Lindsay, straight to him. Fortunately, he kicked at that side of him, because if he hadn't, there would have been a bit of trouble. Russell Boyd could have made a feast. Ben Harris in front of John Cunningham. Harris is down. Taps it out. Ginniver coming in to lend a hand now. West Torrens certainly chasing hard, but there's not too much effective play going on. Harris gets the ball to Fiarchi. Fiarchi with a very, very bad handball. Fatia. Bruce Lindsay. How's an opportunity for Torrens? They've got the right man. He can certainly kick. Can he kick it straight? No, he can't. But West Torrens are on the scoreboard, even if it is only for a behind. They're 1 point. Port Adelaide are 9. 8 points the difference. 21 minutes to score that first one.
Yes, and they're having trouble scoring at that southern end. They've had a few chances. Russell Johnston. Clifford. It won't stand up for him. Tell you what, Stephen Williams worked hard, keeping Lindsay off him. Chris Lindsay, that is. But it's at centre wing now, and we'll see a throw in that spot. Chris Lindsay for the Eagles. There's Bomber. And he's working pretty hard for his side too. Up goes Anderson with a big smash back to the line, and there'll be another throw in. Torrens are a point. Port Adelaide 1-3. A low-scoring quarter. Up goes Sims, waiting for the ball. Anderson thought about the handball. There it goes, Harrison. Now Bomber Clifford. He fell over. Certainly at the wrong time. It normally is the wrong time when you fall over. Russell Boyd now from Ginniver. The lead is on Darren Smith. That's well done. And he certainly had to keep his eyes on the ball then, Darren Smith. But the pressure is right on him. That's his 4th mark. And his 4th kick coming up, and his last kick at goal was awful. And I wonder whether that's in his mind, or whether he's got the positive thought of slamming it straight through. Ooh, excuse me. That's way offline. He only just got a point with it. So Port Adelaide kicking away opportunities now. 1-4, Torrens 1 point on Seven's big lead.
Did I detect Stephen Clifford with a little bit of trouble keeping his feet when he was running through? He made beautiful position on the runaway then couldn't go on with the job. Let's hope that it's not the case. Now West Torrens. Stephen Geyer it is, running through half-back. Well, that's not a good kick either. It's a wobbler, and he's kicking with the breeze. The skill's pretty ordinary at the moment. Greg Boyd, Esley, Johnston, Anderson. So it's catching. All the good players are also having a bit of trouble finding the body with the handball. Port Adelaide are trying. Maybe it'll come good for them later on, but it better hurry up. They won't want to play like this for too long. Lindsay goes for the big knock, but Johnston knocks it backwards. Harrison gets there first, but Smith's too good for him. Bodies him off. Bruce Lindsay short into the full forward area, and that's a very good kick too, as Peter McIndoe takes the mark about 50 metres from goal. Slight angle. It's his 2nd kick. And West Torrens certainly need a goal. We're getting very close to the time-on period of this first quarter. Port 1-4, Torrens are a point, and Port kicking into the breeze. McIndoe's kick is long, and it has hit the post. So Torrens are now 2 points, Port 1-4.
Well, there's no doubt that the breeze is pushing that ball to the right-hand side at the southern end. As Stephen Curtis kicks out to Russell Johnston. Gee, the big chap's working hard, Russell Johnston. Well, that was a very good tackle there by Panagaris. Back he comes into the pocket, slams away. Not a bad shot, but just offline. Well, Russell Johnston there is showing his disgust because he didn't feel the presence of Panagaris then, and Johnny Panagaris took it straight off him. Torrens 2 points, Port Adelaide 1-4.
So will Port Adelaide find Russell Johnston again? No. We're nearly right onto the time-on period now. Leslie going for the kick out. Robson Well, there's a horde of West Torrens players. Sims takes possession, kicks it straight into Anderson though. Now an opportunity for Anderson to recover it again as Harrison knocks it forward. He goes up to that half-forward line, over the top. The Conamu recovery for West Torrens. Clifford rolls in. Geyer comes out onto his left foot back to the centre of the ground. Big Lindsay's in there. Stephen Williams got 3 to beat. Oops, and he's been held on to. That's very careless play. And Andrew Page wouldn't be too pleased with himself with that bit of football. Short to half-forward. Spoiled away by Geyer from Anderson. David Foote. He gets the handball out wide. Now an opportunity for Smith. He's running right across the ground to centre half back, and then kicks it straight up in the air. Page uses the body and he gets it to run for himself. Hannah's running where he couldn't possibly get a kick. That gives Kinnear an opportunity. For Tia now. Kinnear's got him. Greg Boyd.
Boyd can't get a kick either. I tell you what, the tackling is not too bad. The umpire says or indicates holding the ball. The player out there for West Torrens is Cunningham. We're a minute into time on, only 1 goal kicked this quarter. So John Cunningham kicks it right into the pocket. McIndoe up high, couldn't take the mark. Russell Johnson jumps on it, and there'll be a bounce in that left forward pocket. It's a very, very competitive game. There's no doubt in my mind that the Eagles are a better side than when I last saw them. In fact, I'm trying to think when I did. But in terms of their approach at the ball, they're very, very good. They're not finishing it off. That's the only problem. Greg Boyd. Brilliant pass up there. Ginniver's under the ball. He got a bit of a push, and he'll take the free kick just the defence side of centre wing. Russell leave it in screen. 5 kicks, Ginniver. He's the only goal scorer in this game. Goes to left half forward, O'Brien. Eichner punches away. Back on the ball very quickly, Dale Eichner. A chance now for the player in Economou. The long handball out sees Foote collect, and his kick is a daisy cutter. Unmarkable. The umpire about to blow the whistle, but the handball comes out. Greg Boyd. BRG fighting for it over there, and the umpire has indicated holding the man, and the West Torrens players cannot believe it, Robert.
No, I can't either. The umpires are not that quick. Sometimes you fall over and get a free for in the back, and sometimes you get it for holding the man. But it's a pretty scrambly game, so I suppose it's pretty hard to umpire. Lindsay with a quick handball. Eichner, he kicks it out towards half forward. Leslie coming across. So that ends a pretty ordinary quarter here at Football Park. Neither side able to do too much. Skills pretty low. Port 1-4, leading Torrens 3 points. Start of the second quarter. Port Adelaide 1-4, Torrens 3 points. Pretty ordinary first quarter. Torrens kicked with the breeze, made very little use of it. Anderson gets hold of the ball. Now West Torrens, maybe they're going to score into the breeze. Hannah, Lindsay running on. Opportunity for Bruce Lindsay. The kick is offline by a fraction. So Torrens scored their 4th point. Their 4 points. Port Adelaide 1-4.
And gee, Robert, Bruce Lindsay is playing very well. He's a danger man because he runs so straight. He's a very direct player. In front, there he is. Very strong player, Greg Anderson. He's a very good marker of the ball. He got it out to Fiarchi. Fiarchi's left boot up to half forward. Players under it there. Oh, good mark, O'Brien. He held his ground very well. Darren Smith wants it in long and fast. And I think O'Brien wants to kick the goal. It's not a bad kick, mind you. He's put it right up into the square. Darren Smith justling, and he's marked it. He'll be paid, no doubt about that. He is a very strong man, Darren Smith. And he might kick a goal if he wants to. No, he's going to go back. I think Grenville would have. But Darren Smith is the man that's taken over from Tim Evans, and he shows every indication of being a very, very good player. His 5th kick, he's taken 5 marks, and he's just booted his first goal. Port Adelaide 2-4, the Eagles 4 points on 7's big lead.
That movement out of the centre of the ground, then Fiarchi's kick, a good one. There's a very fine mark taken by O'Brien. Port Adelaide players ran on quickly, looking for the quick kick in, But O'Brien quite rightly settled himself and had a bit of a shot for goal. In the reserves clash here this afternoon, we saw a couple of nice goals kicked from that very same position. One in particular by Russell Evans was a very good goal. There was no reason why Michael O'Brien on that occasion couldn't have kicked that goal. He was unable to do so, but Darren Smith taking the mark and has scored after a couple of very poor attempts in the first quarter from very close range. He has now got himself on beam. Maybe Port Adelaide can make a full forward out of this blonde bombshell.
Yes, he's very, very much like the Carlton captain, McClure. In fact, visually, he looks a lot like him, but he also plays similarly. Russell Johnston and Chris Lindsay, it came straight down to Sims. His quick kick forward sees Fatia mark the ball. He's just short of centre-half forward. Let's have a look at his kicking style now. That's pretty useful. The man in front, though, is going to mark the ball. Ben Harris, left boots it away. It missed Anderson, and foot stayed down. Oh, that's not foot, it's John Economou. Now Bruce Lindsay. Bruce Lindsay plays down that corridor, straight down the centre. And that's where you get your best value. This is his 8th kick. He's gone into the pocket. The lead is on. Cut off out there by Ben Harris. Picking the ball up, John Cunningham. The kick was smothered. Fiarchi got it from Harris. The kick is out towards the boundary line there, and Sims has got it. The handball is clear. John Economou, a quick kick back to centre-half forward, punching away Cunningham. Fatia is outreached there, and Fiarchi has the chance, but he sees it go towards the line, and there'll be a throw-in in the right half forward area there for West Torrens.
Ball's going from player to player so quickly and over such short distances at the moment, Peter. You're noticing that we can't even get the words out of our mouths to call the players' names. Robson gets it to Foot. Foot for goal. Foot scores. Very good kick by David Foot. 3.5 minutes into the second quarter. Torrens' first goal. They're 1-4, trailing Port Adelaide on 2-4.
Oh, there's no doubt that the Eagles are competitive, and very interesting tussle there between Sims and Anderson. They're playing different types of footy, but that was the best kick at goal by far this match, because with the way the breeze is blowing, and from that pocket, very difficult to score, but David Foot is an accomplished player. A fine goal. The Eagles 1-4, Port Adelaide 2-4.
Russell Johnston and Chris Lindsay. 4-minute mark of the second quarter. Bruce Lindsay knocking it out wide to the wing. Greg Boyd. Hannah dives on top of the ball. Another scrappy bit of play. See, that was a big wind-up then by Dwayne Russell as he sent the handball forward to Fiarchi. Fiarchi with a very quick reflex handball. Harrison coming in with a long kick towards the goal, but only through for a behind. Port Adelaide move on to 2-5. They're 17 points. Torrens 1-4-10 on Sevens big league.
Things starting to happen in the game now. That's freeing up a little bit as Armand prepares to kick off for the Eagles. In fact, it's Eichner, because Armand has followed Darren Smith down towards centre-half forward for the kick-off. Justin Smith now. A neat little jab away. It's marked at half-back. Long handball out there to Chris Lindsay from Rendell. Chris Lindsay goes short. Boyd touched it. Ben Harris handballs it, but to the wrong side. Hayes, Economou, and finally Bruce Lindsay at centre-half forward. The quick handball to Hannah. He's dispossessed. Fatia now. Got it back to Lindsay. Lindsay thinks about a goal, sets it up, puts it straight through. Well, West Torrens certainly back in business. Brilliant goal to Bruce Lindsay. 2-4 the Eagles, Port Adelaide 2-5.
Well, the way West Torrens went about kicking that goal was enough to foul up any defence. In fact, they almost fouled themselves up. It was unbelievable. Ian Hannah tried to make a play on that probably wasn't on. Tried to get it back to Bruce Lindsay. Then finally Bruce Lindsay was going to give the ball away when he was running into the open goal. Unfortunately for Bruce Lindsay, though, he had the presence of mind to quickly pull it back under his arm and kick the goal. And it was well done, so Torrens right back in it. Bruce
Lindsay leading the way. Best man on the ground at this point, Russell Johnston. Smashes away. Rowan Smith concedes ground. Now Anderson. A long torpedo punt right into the pocket. I don't think Darren Smith can mark that one. Armand didn't even touch it. Eichner now back on it. Through goes Armand. Got the handball to Eichner. A long one to Geyer. And the Eagles will come out, I think. Yes, Geyer goes through centre-half back. Floats one into the centre of the ground. And Russell Johnston cuts them off. And he was off. I think he was off. And he gets 15 metres as well. Luck's a fortune. Kicks it out towards half forward. Bomber Clifford on his own, takes the mark, and I think Bomber might have a go at that one, and he's got a bit of a trouble with that right ankle, I think, Bomber Clifford. He's broken a few bones in his legs. Very sneaky, very clever. Very well done, Bomber Clifford. Now Rowan Smith is at centre-half forward. There's a bit of breeze behind him, and he's a good enough kick to kick a goal. And this will be his 6th kick. Nice kicking action. It's floating to the right, but he got it through. Well done, Bomber Clifford and Rowan Smith. That's Rowan Smith's first goal. Port Adelaide 3-5. The Eagles 2-4 on Seven's big lead.
Well, Stephen Clifford out on the half-forward line, just settling himself there. Perhaps was in distance, trailing breeze behind him, but he decided to go across the ground. He waited for a long time, and Smith just drifted into that half-forward line. Bruce Lindsay wasn't sure whose man it was, but that was a very good goal.
Back to the centre. Who can get the next goal? They're going goal for goal presently. Chris Lindsay got high. Ginniver was grabbed high, but he got a quick kick away. Dwayne Russell goes up for the big chest mark, couldn't touch the ball. It's kicked away now. Bruce Lindsay's slick handball is stolen by Anderson as he goes through. Darren Smith, one out, up he goes. The ball hit him in the body. In fact, he didn't grab it. Fiarchi in trouble. He got it back to O'Brien. There's the snap. He got it. O'Brien's first goal. Port Adelaide kick away, 4-5 to Torrens, 2-4 on Seven's big lead.
Yes, that was very well done then by Fiarchi when he got out there in front of the goal square. That handball he sent forward was very slick and very accurate, and you can see the difference it makes. It just gave a fraction of a second for Michael O'Brien to get himself settled and get the ball through the goal. So Port Adelaide retaliate immediately. Torrens look as though they're going to come into the play this quarter with 2 quick goals at the start, but Port Adelaide have settled for get 2, and they remain 2 goals, 1 in front.
Chris Lindsay and Russell Johnson now in the middle. Russell Johnson put his hand on it. Through goes Bruce Lindsay. He was tackled pretty well. Rowan Smith was brilliant then. Absolutely brilliant to Anderson. Anderson to O'Brien. O'Brien's going to go all the way, or he thought he was, but it went off the side of his boot and went out on the full. What a slick movement from Rowan Smith, Robert.
Certainly makes a difference when there's one good handball, and that's where Rowan Smith's so good for Port Adelaide. It might not be that he gets so many touches during a game like another player might get 20 touches. The fact with Rowan Smith is that when he gets a touch, he can really make something happen, and it can generate a spirit within the side, because that handball by Greg Anderson was also very slick then. His handballs in the first quarter weren't so. Very good mark there by Stephen Armand, and that kick in from defence. Armand playing at full back. Kick up towards centre wing. Robson's there, he just taps it away. Russell Boyd gets a free kick for a tackle over the shoulder. Boyd very near the boundary line, right in front of the Port Adelaide coach's bench. Goes towards centre half forward. Spoiled away very well. Robert Enright. His kick back to from where the ball came. Johnston up there. Almost marks it on his body. Leslie coming through quickly. Started off with several touches. Anderson gives it to Stephen Williams. He's trying to settle himself. Gives it back to Anderson. Anderson looking for Smith. His handball not good on that occasion. Quick handball by Economou. Pays running through the centre of the ground. And he goes for a bit of space out on the half-forward line. Cunningham moving into that area. Goes back onto his right foot. Good tackle, Harris. In comes Panagaris quickly. He's tackled by Curtis. Curtis falling forward, looking for a free kick. I think he put a bit of a performance on Peter, but he's going to get the kick anyway.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Robert. That was very well done by Stephen Curtis. He knew the body was there, and gee, if you can get a kick like that, go for him, because they all count. And he showed tons of experience in doing that. Kicked it up over the centre line. O'Brien's under the ball, no one there to contest, and he took a fine mark. May turn into a good footballer, O'Brien. He's certainly got some fine attributes. Kicks it up towards centre half forward. Darren Smith will come in. Oh, he nearly picked it up. Foot. Economou. He goes to the outer side of the ground. Hanna and Harrison. Harrison got the benefit of a bounce that went in his direction. It's 1 against 2 though. He gets around Hanna. He certainly is a racehorse, Harrison. Hooks it back. The man in front though took the good mark, John Economou.
He's in the back pocket. He's got Sims on his own on the half-back line. That's a terrible kick. There's no margin for error if you're standing on the boundary line, Stephen Sims. And John Economou's kick had to be just too accurate. It was just a metre to the left, and it's out of bounds on the full. Stephen Williams with the free kick. He comes straight across the front of the ground, into the front of the goal square. This time, Smith from behind is going to get a free kick against him for pushing the back. That was better play by Stephen Armand as he set himself to get in front spot this time. And it's not even Stephen Armand. It's the big fellow, Chris Lindsay. Oh, that's a push in the back, it looked like. Greg Boyd, he handballs it wildly forward. Almost out of bounds. Rowan Smith keeps it in play. Economou picks it up. Opportunity out there for Stephen Williams on the bottom of the pack, and he's going to get the free kick.
Yes, the umpire indicated over the shoulder there, Robert, and he's a very strong kick. Drags it into centre half forward. Russell Johnston, oh, courageous mark. Oh, eye on the ball all the way. He knew he was in for a belting. In fact, it didn't occur. Quite often happens that if you take the line of your body straight through the line of the ball, that you will come through unscathed, and that was fortunate. Brilliantly done, Russell Johnston. His 5th kick for his first goal. Port Adelaide 5-5, the Eagles 2-4 on Sevens' big lead.
It certainly was well done by Russell Johnston. Making mention and noting the other day in the interstate match against Western Australia just how often players took marks on their body, something we haven't seen in modern times of football. Most players encouraged to take the ball in their hands, but on that particular occasion, just showing when you should take the ball on the body. With the players coming in, he ran straight down the ground, Johnston, and as it came in, he just turned his body into the line of flight of the ball, took it on the chest, and he scored a very well-earned goal.
Chris Lindsay now, the young man with big weight on his shoulders, in fact, because he's really got to carry the West Torrens rucks. John Cunningham is certainly lending great support, but the young man is having to mature a little bit more quickly than perhaps he should have to. We'll have another bounce. Russell Johnston and Chris Lindsay. Russell Johnston dragged it out, but it's West Torrens will clear through Geyer. A good mark back there by Leslie. Leslie towards O'Brien, and that player marks at right half forward flank. Now O'Brien normally has ground covering penetration. He wants the lead of Darren Smith. Up he goes. Couldn't possibly mark that one. Ginniver, Fiarchi delayed the handball well. Fiarchi's kick is not a bad one. It's coming back, but it just floats through for a point. And it's a pretty useful move there by Ginniver to hold that one up like he did.
Yes, a very good try by Fiarchi too on his wrong leg. Port Adelaide doing it pretty well. Almost 14 minutes into the second quarter. Dale Eichner to kick the ball in for West Torrens. Coming out to the member stand side of the ground. Stim's giving the lead. Sims putting the ball on his body. That's a good mark. We've seen this body mark come in a bit more. Maybe players going to do it a bit more now, particularly with the wet of the last few weeks. They've been had to do it. David Foote wide to half forward. Panagaris pushing Curtis underneath the ball. Did it well. Got to get possession now. Sends the ball back quickly to Foote. Foote now with an opportunity. Straightens himself up. Goes in towards the goals when Leslie's there. He's been everywhere in defence. Robson pulls it back underneath himself. Players deciding not to tackle him though. All diving in trying to get the ball rather than go for the holding the ball decision. So there'll be a bounce about 20 metres from the West Torrens goal.
And do they need one? They need a couple. They're trailing by 20 points, the Eagles. Through goes Hannah. That ball came off the foot. A chance now for Panagaris. The handball was a bit strong, but he backed up brilliantly, Panagaris. Onto the left boot now to Foote, and that was well done. Quite often when you centre that ball, rather than spraying it around the body and hoping for the best, if you've got someone there in that direct line at goal, and you can find him, it's the way to go. David Foote's at centre half forward. This is his 6th kick. Lovely kicking action, David Foote. It's coming across to the left, but he's got it. He's got his 2nd goal, David Foote. Torrens 2-4, Port Adelaide 5-6.
Torrens, I think that's their 3rd goal. In fact, 3-4 to 5-6. The 2nd goal to David Foote. Bruce Lindsay's kicked the other one for West Torrens, but that was a good bit of play, that centering of the ball in. Panagaris very active up in that forward line for West Torrens, coming around and trying to centre the ball to give the opportunity, and it's certainly accepted well by David Foote, and they've scored their 3rd, so they're still in there with a chance.
Not a bad crowd here at Football Park either, and certainly the game being played in good winter sunshine and the ground in magnificent touch. Sims again in the centre of the ground, looks for Geyer, finds that player, and that's not a bad little kick away there to Pays. Pays a brilliant performer. Away he goes with it now. Skirts the centre wing line and puts it up forward. Robson's under the ball and he'll mark it. They want it in long and fast. Robson's first kick, he just hasn't been in the game enough. Russell Johnson in front, couldn't mark the ball. Curtis is there, fighting hard for it as usual. Ben Harris also. He had the ball, but he was tackled well, and we'll see a bounce down. Well, another goal to the Eagles would certainly make a good contest out of the game. Not that it isn't, but Torrens in danger of falling a bit too far behind if they don't kick a couple. There'll be another bounce now about 30 metres from the Eagle goal.
West Torrens need another couple badly. Lee Robson probably do a bit of rucking up there. John Cunningham with him. It's Cunningham that goes for it. Knocked away by Johnston well though. Kinnear kicks it back towards the centre of the ground. There's the back playing ruckman on his own. Big Chris Lindsay. It amazes me, if you're going to kick it long out of the fence, you can't afford to have this bloke standing back across the centre on his own. His kick's long into the goal square, and there's his opponent. And they can kick it backwards and forwards like that for quite some hours if they wish to. There's got to be some run out of defence here by Port Adelaide. Long blind kicks are going to be of no use to them, just as the one by Lindsay back into attacks of no use. That's a well-placed kick. Anderson gets it, gives it across to Greg Boyd. 10th kick it was too. Very nice disposal to Harrison on centre wing. He's right near the boundary line, very wide. He kicks it straight into the man on the mark. That's Justin Smith. Gets it back. Anderson running on for him. Here's a chance for Port Adelaide, but the handball's inaccurate. High tackle. Rode the bump well though, nevertheless, Anderson. Got a bit of hit in the jaw then. He was set up rather badly by that very loose handball. It's a sort of handball, it's a routine play. It should not have missed the body. The kick high in the air. Dwayne Russell. This is what he can do, the big fellows, mark the ball. Just drifted in behind the pack there. All other players were fighting and not really watching the flight of the ball. Dwayne Russell certainly did. He started off this game fairly quietly today, just going to ease himself into it. This is his 4th kick only. Very important goal for Port Adelaide, will give them a handy lead. No, the umpire saying it just cut away at the last second. So Port Adelaide now 5-7, leading West Torrens 3-4.
Dwayne Russell, very important to Port Adelaide. Certainly to have a player of his stature at centre half forward, competing on every issue, is vital. Eichner kicks out again. Harrison comes across, can't mark the ball. Russell Boyd punches away. Fiarchi cleverly over the top. Justin Smith will be first for the Eagles. Taps the ball towards the line, and pretty good defensive move there by Justin Smith. The Eagles are 3-4, Port Adelaide 5-7. The difference is 15 points. We're in Port Adelaide's right half-forward area. Dwayne Russell again, but Chris Lindsay beats him. Fotia from end right. Fotia's left foot is a wobbly, or his left-footed kick is a wobbly one. Anderson now. Rowan Smith. He's been out of the game for a while, but he's back in it again. The handball loose. Geneva couldn't do a thing with it. Anderson got a quick kick away, but it was smothered. Down went Stephen Williams. Plenty of bodies around the ball, and the umpire has indicated a throw. And the free kick there will go to the Eagle defender in Rendell.
He gives it to Bruce Lindsay. Sims is on his own on centre wing. Players running for him. Pays inside. Economou right alongside of him now. Pays still with him. Sims decides to go the whole way. Notice him bouncing with his left hand. There's a right foot kick though. And that kick is not bad. It's a free kick going to be paid against Kim Kinnear. And David Foote will take that free. He's within goal scoring distance. He's kicked 2 goals already. And the third one will be very handy for the Eagles. It's not a bad kick either. It's a very good kick. It is straight through the centre. So Torrens move on to 4 goals for Port Adelaide 5-7 on 7's big league.
He really is a brilliant player, David Foote. I tell you what, I don't think I've seen anybody that's so sure with the kick on that side of the ground going to the northern end. Very hard to boot goals out there, but he knows exactly what the breeze is doing and what it isn't. He sums it up brilliantly, and he's kicked 3 goals. Eagles are certainly not out of this game. 4-4, trailing the Magpies 5-7.
Chris Lindsay, Russell Johnston. Johnston for Port Adelaide. Lindsay with his left hand lays it down. Johnston takes it though as it comes to the ground. Just shows you how agile the big fellow is.
I think Chris Lindsay got one on the hip then, Robert. He's a little bit sore.
He is too. See what he does. He's going to hang in there, just trying to cut Johnston's run. And bashed forward by Russell Boyd. Only as far as centre half back. Rendell kicks it away. Finds a bit of space in front of Bruce Lindsay. By gee, he's got some beautiful ball skills. His kick is out in front. It's a very good left foot kick. A little bit too strong, if anything. He's not all that happy with himself. But it's certainly a much better kick than some of the others we've seen that have been floating off the boot. He went for the space in front. It's better to give it a little bit too much than a little less than's required. So it's out of bounds just inside half forward. Johnston and Robson. Johnston over the top to Leslie. He's had a very good game at centre half back for Port Adelaide. He's kicking to the centre of the ground. Smith in front, sprawled away by Economou. Smith takes possession, but he's tackled, holding the ball. Rowan Smith picks it up. Away goes Port Adelaide, the centre half forward. Clifford underneath it, fisted away from him. Big Chris Lindsay coming in. He's allowed to play on. Lumbers after a little bit. He gives the ball a little bit too much also, just like Bruce Lindsay did a moment ago, and it's out of bounds on centre wing.
There's only 9 points in it. Port Adelaide leading. We approach 22 minutes now in this second quarter. A good quarter of football, both sides playing very skillfully. We must bear in mind that there'll be a lot of water under that ground, and it wouldn't be that easy to play on. As Stephen Williams belts it to centre half forward, it's going right over the top. Armand fell over, but he regained his composure. Very casually comes out of defence. The tackle was applied by Dwayne Russell. And here's a chance out there now for John Economou. It's picked up by the other defender, Justin Smith it is. And he uses the left boot and uses it effectively to David Foote. Economou, in fact, it is, and he goes short. The Eagles are going to run through Colsey up to half forward. Russell Boyd's under the ball and takes a good mark. Colsey snuck onto the ground a little while ago, I think, Robert. What is Russell Boyd going to do? He got the handball out, but they're in trouble. Bruce Lindsay, with a lot of composure, picked it up. The handball missed Sims. Russell Boyd desperately trying to make up for the error. Flanking them now is Fotia back onto the left boot, but he's offline. The point only, but a good attacking move, and it's a slight error there by Russell Boyd, Rob.
Certainly was. Also an error by those three West Torrens players. They didn't realise they were on their own. Dominic Fotia coming across quickly. He could have settled himself a little bit then. Didn't realise that he could have, maybe a little handball would have been on. That's almost looked like a mark out there then to Colsey. The ball picked up by Anderson. It's going to be a free kick for in the back. Fiarchi looking for a free kick for holding the ball, but David Foote gets the free kick for in the back. Ian Hanna's injured. He's down, maybe he's just wind. Hope so. Long kick into full forward. Player coming in from behind. Not able to take the mark. Panagaris with an opportunity. He's going to get the free kick for hanging on. Port Adelaide players remonstrating fairly vociferously up there in front of goal. So the free kick going to be taken by John Panagaris. Certainly a willing little worker up there for West Torrens. That's a very confident kick too. So West Torrens right back in it now. 2 points the difference as Panagaris kicks his first. Torrens 5-5, trailing Port Adelaide 5 goals 7.
Yes, and a 5-goal quarter to the Eagles. It's been a very good quarter for them, and you can be the judge of that free kick. Panagaris came out running straight at the umpire, and did he have the ball or didn't he? The umpire judged that he didn't. Gave him the free kick for hanging on. And the great thing about the Panagaris goal was the kick. He kicked right through that ball for his first goal.
Chris Lindsay again. He's up against Ben Harris on this occasion. Ben Harris smashing the ball forward, kicked off wildly by Justin Smith. He's done that once before this game. That's a better handball by Anderson. Smith, he's caught in possession. Rendell also doing a good tackle, holding the ball decision. It looked to me as though Harrison didn't have much chance. The free kick nevertheless has been paid. Coach Weston in the grandstand. I bet he'd love to be out there playing. Oops, there's an early leap there. And the mark to Ian Hanna. It's an early leap from behind by the Port Adelaide player. Didn't even make any motion, did Greg Boyd on him. Oops, there's a Russell Boyd tackle. Ball falls from hand. Ooh, player on the ground, and that Port Adelaide player was panicking a little bit then. But Peter, I don't think the umpire had the confidence to give the free kick.
Tell you what, I would have been panicking too. Ooh, he was in a lot of bother. I think the umpire was very sympathetic then. Leslie is dispossessed. Russell Johnson's in trouble. I tell you what, the Eagles will get a free kick in a minute for holding the ball. Sims, a sweeping handball to Bruce Lindsay. He gets around the running player. The kick away hasn't got distance. And Curtis, I think, may have marked the ball. He has. He either didn't mark it or it was a very good act, and I'm pretty sure he did mark it. He put out the long handball to Leslie. He was clean bowled by that one. Greg Boyd now is going to run away with it, or isn't he? In fact, he goes backwards. Leslie, Phelps, what are they going to do? The Phelps kick, in fact, is offline. And they went straight to the Eagle player out there in... it's not Justin Smith. Pick him up in a minute. I'm not quite sure who it is, in fact. And that's David Foote. Foote centres it. Thought he was aiming for the Port runner then. But it went straight past Pays. Here's Hanna. Hanna's onto the left boot. Goes in long. That ball will not come around far enough. And a point only for the Eagles. But they're attacking very well and they're playing very well, Robert.
They certainly are. Port Adelaide getting a bit of trouble in defence. They've got no one back across the centre of the ground to kick to. They're all running to the back of the goal square. Then when they look out to kick, they're trying to keep it in possession a bit to try and run it out. Now a chance for Port Adelaide as they go to half forward, but O'Connor's there to stop them. He kicks it high, Rendell it is, kicks it high in the air, and the mark safely taken back there by Greg Boyd. He decides to go wide. Stephen Williams has crossed the centre now, so Port Adelaide got a few players running on with the play to receive, and that's what they need. Williams quickly towards centre half forward. Clifford gets behind the play then. Unfortunately for him, Ginniver. Smith running on, and he takes the mark 40 metres from goal. Comes across to Michael O'Brien, so they did it well then. That's better play by Port Adelaide when they were running into attack. Moved well to receive. Michael O'Brien, kick number 7, goes straight through the centre. That's his second goal. Port Adelaide 6th, they're 6-7 now, leading Torrens 5-6 on 7's big lead.
John Harvey just came onto the ground, and it's his first appearance, I think, since a 2-week suspension. Russell Johnson going to the coach's box. And Port Adelaide made that look easy. In fact, Stephen Williams got hold of the ball at centre wing, and when Rowan Smith got hold of it, it was a very casual-looking kick, but it was spot on to O'Brien. O'Brien booted his second goal for the quarter. The Eagles are 5-6, Port Adelaide 6-7 on 7's big lead.
Both teams have kicked 5 goals this quarter. The wind seems to be favouring the southern end, but it's not making any difference to the scoring. Ginniver tackled with that ball. Umpire saying he had no chance to get rid of it, so he's going to bounce again in the shadow of the light pylon. Ben Harris, long knock. O'Brien coming across. He's a bit of a winner up for that forward line for Port Adelaide. Anderson, a very nice handball forward to Dwayne Russell. Russell the full forward. Smith from behind. Oh, good mark. Good mark. He always looked as though he was going to take it, but it became fairly awkward. That's his 6th mark in this match. His kicking's been pretty horrible in the first quarter. He's kicked 1 goal 2 at the moment. 2 goals 2 now to Darren Smith. Torrens 5-6, Port Adelaide 7-7.
Bomber Clifford coming off the ground. We did notice in the first quarter that his legs seemed to cave in, and he's limping and he's gone straight down into the rooms. But what a fine mark by Darren Smith. He really kept his eyes on that ball, and he's such a strong player that he managed to stop the ball in flight enough to enable himself to get back on it very quickly. He's going to be a fine player. In fact, he already is. 7-7 Port Adelaide, Torrens 5-6.
Chris Lindsay and Ben Harris. Ben Harris, he's been pretty good in the ruck. He's tapped that one forward. Geyer coming across at half-back to the outer side. Sims underneath the ball. I think he's been shifted out of the centre of the ground. Tries to knock it on, only hits the leg of the Port Adelaide player. And so there'll be a bounce on the half-back line for Port Adelaide. West Torrens just into attack. They need another goal. They've got to be with Port Adelaide at half-time. They haven't got much time to do it. It was in the 30-minute mark. Harris, he's had his hand on a few balls. Smith handballs it long. Bruce Lindsay tries to knock it. Fatia puts a hand on his tackle whilst not in possession. No free kick. And Leslie, working as hard as ever, knocks it towards the boundary line and out of bounds. Umpire not happy. He's given the free kick, Peter.
Yes, he thought about it, and he said it was intentional. Sims, who's at half forward, kicks it or centres it, centre half forward, no mark taken. The punch away, Bruce Lindsay, I think he may be in the centre of the ground. Got it over the top there to Robson. Robson to Fatia. Fatia sets it up, and he's hit the post. Oh, he can't kick a goal. In fact, he's kicked out on the full twice. He's kicked 2 points. So he might get there in the third quarter.
Kick in, member stand side. Over the top of Ginniver. Pays, he slips in the ground. It's obviously not enabling the players to hold their feet too well. Russell Boyd now with an opportunity. Doesn't seem to be moving all that quickly. His handball on to O'Brien. He stops and comes back in towards the centre of the ground. Smith making possession at centre half forward. It's going to get cut off from him though. Fisted away by O'Connor. Colesy takes, gives it back to O'Connor. Over half forward, Hannah's there. Not only is Hannah there, so is Peter McIndoe. He takes the mark. Sims on his own at the moment. He's on his own now as Leslie comes in, intercepts. Well done. Smith. Sims again. He's going to do it on his own. He's shepherded. There's the kick. Oh, that's an important goal. It's home on the siren. Torrens 6-7, Port 7-7. First goal to Stephen Sims right at half-time.
And it's on in the square. Curtis and Panagaris there having a go, but there is no doubt that that score is going to count. as Paul Weston leaves the coach area there to go down to address his players. Stephen Sims kicks one on the bell, and the Eagles go in 6-7 to Port Adelaide, 7-7 at half-time on Seven's big lead. Start of the third quarter here at Football Park. Port Adelaide leading by 6 points. In fact, the Eagles got a goal right on the siren at half-time. Stephen Sims put it through, and the difference 6 points. The tackle there by Russell Johnston sees the umpire come in for a repeat bounce. It was a very good second quarter, during which 12 goals were booted. Only 1 goal in the first quarter. I think that both sides took a while to acclimatise to these conditions. Probably a bit slippery underfoot as David Foote gets the ball forward. Dominic Fatia in front, and that's a good mark. He certainly loves to being in the game, Dominic. He's had 3 pop shots at goal. He's missed them all. He might get one soon, and that's great body work there by Panagaris. Off he goes towards goal, but he also is offline. Point only. He booted a goal in the second quarter as well from a free kick. So Torrens are 6-8. The Magpies 7-7.
Panagaris could have kicked that ball in pretty low and quickly. Then always at the goal line, there was a West Torrens player running into the goal mouth. The kick out. Page coming from the back. He spoils it away. Leslie, by geez, played a game. Ben Harris, long handball out wide. Chance there for Harvey. He's on the ground. Player with the ball there. I couldn't look like O'Brien, who's tackled very quickly. Port Adelaide working very hard, trying to get into this game. It's their skills that let them down a lot in the first half. Now Bruce Lindsay, he taps it on only as far as Russell Boyd. Boyd quickly up to the half-forward line. It's an awkward bounce for all concerned. Armand, his Rendell, in fact, to half-forward, spoiled away by Curtis. Player coming in there, Sims, he just kicks it off the ground towards Hannah. Hannah past McIndoe. Fotia, can he kick this one? Oh, that looked a bit better control. And finally, he's kicked his first goal, has Dominic Fatia. He kicked 2 points and 2 out of bounds on the full. So West Torrens moving on now to 7 goals, 8. And they're just 1 point in front of Port Adelaide on 7-7.
Oh, that was very well done too by Hannah. He tapped the ball right through, and it was Dominic Fatia who judged it better than anyone else. He was running through. He looked for the player in support. There was no player there. So he kicked truly with his 9th kick straight through the centre. And that was a brilliant goal. The Eagles are in front, 7-8 to the Magpies, 7-7.
Chris Lindsay against Russell Johnston. Been a good battle in the centre. Johnston's had the experience. That's well done. The kick quickly away and up to the half-forward line. Eichner's there, but Williams spoils it forward. Russell coming in strongly. Wayne Russell, that is. And he's going to get a free kick for a trip. It looked as though he dived, and that's why it looked as though he dived. He obviously tripped. Gives the ball to Anderson. Anderson off one leg. Most players kick off one leg, but on that occasion, that one leg was just popped into the ground, and that's his first goal. That was a great goal. I thought it was an unnecessary receive of the handball, but that was a fantastic goal. So Port Adelaide regained the lead again. They're 8-7, Torrens 7-8.
Certainly a quick reply, and I'd agree with Robert. When Dwayne Russell got that ball to Anderson, I thought, now what's all this about? But of course, Anderson really is a freakish type. He didn't take one step then. He just stood there and banged it through with his 12th kick, and that was in fact his first goal.
So back to the centre of the game again. 3 minutes gone, 2 goals scored. It's a vast difference from the first quarter when we went for most of the quarter without any goals. Russell Johnston gets a wild handball out in the direction of Greg Anderson. Away he goes. Hooks it around his body in towards centre half forward. Players setting themselves up there. And a great mark taken in defence. And then by Eichner, and then handball quickly to Rendell. His kick to centre half forward. Spoiled away by Leslie. Foot now to Pays. Pays back to Foot. Oh, that's good footy in close. The handball very bad to Colsey. Now an opportunity for Mark Lawson. He gives it to Russell Johnston. Johnston to half forward. Player lurking up there's George Biarchi. He's tackled, but throws the player aside. Can he kick it straight? He can't get the distance, and it's not straight. No, Brian had it on the end of his foot, and he's missed. Now Rowan Smith. Valiant dive then, and it's a goal. It's an absolute freak goal by Rowan Smith. You won't see anything like that as Enright fell across his boot. He's put it straight through the centre. Port 9-7, Torrens 7-8, Smith's second goal.
Well, it was a brilliant snap at goal there by Rowan Smith. He certainly has great composure. When he picked it up there, he got around the player that came at him and he banged it through. Interesting to look at the goal umpire then. I don't know that he could follow the ball all the way, but when the cheer went up, I think the fingers went up.
Johnston and Lindsay. Johnston, he's in charge of the ruck. He lays that one back. Through comes Mark Lawson. Scrubs a kick up into the half-forward line. Rowan Smith with an opportunity. Russell coming in quickly. He's bundled off the ball by Geyer. Players diving in on top of the ball. Umpire allowing it to go on. Russell gets another opportunity. He's caught and holding the ball as he tries to barge that pack.
It's pretty hard to barge through a couple of players like that, and of course if anyone could do it, it's that man there, Dwayne Russell. Certainly a strong player as Steve Geyer kicks up to half-forward for the Eagles. The man in front, Russell Johnston, not played. It's a pretty good effort for a mark. Fotia is in there fighting hard against three Port players. Curtis got it out. Leslie acrobatic, but not too effective. Bruce Lindsay, a good tackle. McIndoe leads to the left pocket, in fact the right pocket. Now he comes back to the left. McIndoe's on the end of that. Brilliantly put, Bruce Lindsay. McIndoe's got the mark in the right forward pocket. Certainly helps a bit if you can kick like that, and Russell Ebert sending a big message out to somebody. McIndoe snuck a few yards, I fear. As the Port runner scampers out. Now who's he going to? He's run past the umpire, which is fortunate. McIndoe lines it up. That's dead centre. And the runner's gone right down. In fact, who's he going to talk to, Robert? I can't pick it up.
I certainly can't either. Torrens move on to 8 goals, 8 now. Port 9-7. That's the first goal for Peter McIndoe. The runner having a quick talk to Jeff Phelps. Players leaving a bit of space up there. Obviously on the bench of the Port Adelaide side, they're a bit concerned about that space, but what a wonderful kick it was by Bruce Lindsay. He summed up the situation perfectly, and when the lead was on, he sat that kick in there to give his teammate every opportunity to get to it. That was a good mark by Peter McIndoe, and equally as good a kick. So Port Adelaide 9-7, Torrens 8-8, 5 points the difference.
Chris Lindsay now, who copped a bit of a hip injury late in the second quarter, but he's certainly back in business. Russell Johnston, double-handed over the top. Fiarchi couldn't pick it up. Colsey can. Onto the left boot. Robson's at centre half forward now. Foot's there. Couldn't mark the ball though. Robson got it on the rebound. Onto the left boot. It's a grubber. It grubbers past everybody. Good for a point. Gee, everyone was clean bowled then. But a point to the Eagles, and they're attacking well. 8-9 to Port Adelaide 9-7.
Well, West Torrens could certainly do with Lee Robson coming good at centre half forward. Bit of that old sparkle that he had a couple of seasons ago. Russell Johnston, fine mark. Mark number 6. The kick goes into the centre of the ground. Dwayne Russell from behind just hangs up there. Tom Hank, he's on the ground for West Torrens. His kick's not a good one, only as far as Greg Boyd at centre half back. Boyd coming grandstand side to Russell Boyd. Made position, there's an opportunity to get running now. Away go Port Adelaide. Very directly this time. Harrison at half forward. He gets the handball put on to Fiarchi. Smith puts down that handball. Wasn't that good a one? It's a very good tackle. Player had his hands pulled off the ball. That was Stephen Rendell, and the free kick going to Port Adelaide's George Fiarchi.
He's just the defence side of that square there. We're at 8 minutes. The kick forward is falling way short. Eichner. Dale Eichner's at half back. Goes to the outer side of the ground. You can see the run of Colsey. Gee, that was very well put. Colsey had it, then he dropped it. He's in a lot of trouble. He's outnumbered in there. Fiarchi picks it up. He's in a spot off by the two. As Hannah pushes it onto Foot. Foot got rid of it very quickly. Russell Boyd, no, in fact, Stephen Williams, it is, who goes to Harrison. Harrison now takes off, runs through half forward, puts it up to centre half forward. Darren Smith might mark it. The man in front, Bruce Lindsay, does.
Bruce Lindsay at centre half back. What a wonderful player. Kick number 14 down to centre wing. Very nice mark taken there by Greg Boyd. He gives it on quickly to Leslie. Leslie gets it on to Harrison. Harrison to Anderson. Port Adelaide running. Harrison. His handballs are pretty ordinary. As Greg Anderson's one part of his game that's not the flashiest. Colsey's in there strongly. Gets it out quickly to Eichner. He tried to get it to Pays but couldn't. Chinniver coming in on the fall. Sims gets a wobbly handball. Anderson again. Russell Boyd finds a bit of space. Umpire deciding that he's kicked in danger. And so there'll be a free kick, and that'll be taken by Lee Robson just backward of centre wing.
Russell Boyd then, just a touch unlucky. Robson with the free kick. foot leads towards the centre of the ground, but he goes further. Hannah or Panagaris went over both of them. Chance out there for an Eagle player who dives on top of the ball, and that is Justin Smith. So we're at centre half forward. The Eagles trail by 4 points. Good game of football, very competitive. Fiarchi again working hard. Bobbles one towards the centre of the ground. Rowan Smith, a lot of composure in there. He falls over, gets up, can't get the handball out. Eichner to Colsey. Colsey will go direct. No, he won't. He'll cut across and find Pays. Pays has to run on. He was committed. Slams the ball towards goal and gets the point. Did everything right then, Pays, except the kick. 8-10 the Eagles, and the Magpies 9-7.
3 points the difference here at Football Park. About 10 minutes into the third quarter. West Torrens certainly very competitive. The game, though, in skills department, not the best. Body to body on the handball in particular. Players not good. Jeff Phelps, coming member stand side. Lindsay setting himself in front. That's a mark. Russell Johnston wrong-footed slightly by that under-kick ball. Lindsay putting himself in front. He's a prolific goal kicker in the reserves. I don't know whether he ever marked any this far out of goal, though. Just quietly goes across in towards the half-forward position where he finds Smith. He gives it to Colsey. He can certainly kick the distance. He didn't kick it straight. He's only kicked it behind. Torrens moved to 8 goals, 11. They're 59 points. Port Adelaide 9-7, 61.
Phelps has a bit of trouble kicking to grandstand side. It just doesn't suit the swing of his kick. Now Russell Johnson marks on the other side of the ground, which is certainly the way that Phelps would prefer to go. Russell Johnson will get a 15-metre penalty in his favour. This is his 10th kick. Certainly worked hard. He wants Anderson and finds that player. Thought about playing on. Anderson's 14th kick now. Rowan Smith under the ball, couldn't mark it. Cotier. Enright. Hannah in trouble, but he got a high one, so it's his free kick. Now he kicks to the pocket. The lead is on from Panagaris. He got there and he marked it. He had it. He looked as though he was going to drop it, but he certainly recovered well to take the mark. Ben Harris being brought back on the mark. Panagaris can kick a long way. He'll have to, because there's no Torrens player down there. Yes, they're going there now. Robson and McIndoe. Panagaris will try and go all the way. Lovely looking kick, distance-wise, but just offline. A point to the Eagles, 8-12 to Port Adelaide 9-7.
It's 1 goal 3 to John Panagaris. That's the runner out talking to Jeff Phelps just a moment ago. I don't know what he was saying to him. I thought he spoke to Ben Harris on the way. Maybe going to make a change and put Ben Harris back to fullback. Curtis kicking in this time. Maybe that's what the runner informed them, that the other two players were to kick the ball out, not Phelps. Pays, tackled well by Russell Boyd. Ginniver picks it up. He's got Smith ahead of him. Rowan Smith now. Wasn't sure that he was on his own, just hesitated for a moment. Then he's kicked the half forwards, a good one. Off hands, coming across Mark Lawson. He can't bend to pick it up. Ball knocked away to Harrison. Harrison gives it to Russell. Wayne Russell now, similar sort of kick as the one Anderson kicked a moment ago. Into the goal square. Ball fisted away. Fiarchi's in there. He's taken over the boundary line, and there'll be a throw in right next to the behind post for Port Adelaide. Porter 9-7, 61. 1 point ahead of Torrens on 8 goals, 12.
No doubt about Dwayne Russell and Greg Anderson. They can certainly kick that ball a long way from a standing start. Chris Lindsay tries to lay it down to Hank. The ball's furthered towards Colsey. It comes off hands back to Ginniver. A quick snap around the corner. What a great snap it is. Won't get a goal with it. Dwayne Russell couldn't quite mark it. And it's rolled over the line for a point. So Port Adelaide now 9-8 to the Eagles 8-12.
Be John Cunningham to kick the ball in on this occasion. He's at full-back. He goes straight down the centre of the ground. It's a floaty kick too. It's got a fair bit of weight on it. Ball just fisted away into the forward line. Coles, he's had a big effect on the centre of the ground. He's picking up a few kicks. Gets it across to Smith. Oh, well done, Curtis. He cuts across, foot trying to let it run past him. Curtis has got a ton of room out there, but he's very wide on the wing. He gets it on the mark, Lawson. Lawson steadies for full forward. Darren Smith coming out. He's marked the ball well so far, but not on this occasion. Enright over the head. Gets it away quickly to Geyer. Ian Hannah.
Hannah bounces out of defence. He's run right down through centre wing. He brings that towards centre half forward. The ball was well put, but it was well intercepted there by Leslie. Getting back on the ball, McIndoe. Now Pays. Hayes thought about Lindsay, but then went to the pocket for Panagaris. Lindsay's run on. Panagaris got around him. Thought about Lindsay again. Onto the left boot, and he's put it through. Great goal, Panagaris. His second, and the Eagles have hit the front again. 9-12 to Port Adelaide, 9-8.
Port Adelaide may have a bit of a height problem back at full-back there in that full-back line. Big Ben Harris on John Panagaris. It's okay when the ball's coming in long, but when it comes in low and the players can move around a little bit, the big fellow Harris has got nowhere near the mobility of the little fellow. And John Panagaris on that occasion thought about giving it over the top to Lindsay, but then ran on and did it himself. Well done.
Well, the game has certainly come alive here at Football Park with Chris Lindsay in ruck now against Russell Johnston. Johnston slams it towards Rowan Smith. The quick handball goes to Anderson. He couldn't quite take it on the first grab, but he recovered well. Darren Smith missed it on the run through, but he's got it back now. Anderson thinks about the handball. Again, it's at the feet of Geneva. It comes unstuck for them. The kick off the ground. See Torrens get out of trouble momentarily, and the umpire will now bounce it just slightly in Port Adelaide's attacking area. And that handball is a bit of a worry to Anderson there as he dropped it at the feet of Geneva. Certain goal looming as Chris Lindsay puts it down. Rowan Smith got a kick away. Enright in trouble. Geneva couldn't pick it up, but he does now. Onto the left boot. That ball's gone very high. Rendell comes across. Oh, I think O'Brien's marked it. He cut it off and took a fine mark. That was very good judgment. And that's O'Brien's 5th mark. And he's going to go for home with this one. Kick 2 in the second quarter, O'Brien. And this is his 9th kick, so he's been an active forward player for Port Adelaide. Low trajectory. He's just offline though. They're difficult from out there. So Port Adelaide now 9-9 to the Eagles 9-12.
That kick that went forward to O'Brien then was amazing because the West Torrens player was just being hung on to. Initially, the umpire might have called play on, but he just kept allowing it to be called play on. The player was allowed to be thrown well off the ball. Thought Port a little lucky on that occasion. Russell Johnston paid the mark. It was a good fly. Obviously stopped the ball in the umpire's opinion. The kick good into full forward. Players fighting up there. Rendell fisting it away. Opportunity now for Sims to come in. He handballs the ball quickly and wildly. And trying to bust the pack. Dwayne Russell goes on Tom Hank. Cunningham moving into the centre of the ground, making good position. Hannah's over the top of half forward. He decides to go past him. Harris is up there. This is where the height will count, but Panagaris with the quickness on the ground. Harris in the back, that must be. No, holding the ball. I thought Panagaris actually sat on top of him, crawled over the top of him, and then he ends up getting the free. It's too much for me, Peter.
He plays it on. Oh, what a great kick. It's got distance. Phelps is back there. Can't mark the ball. Off hands it goes. Big chance for the Eagles. They can't push it through. And the umpire's going to bounce it. Gee. Panagaris is a pretty effective forward. He's so strong, and I've seen him boot 2 goals already. And he's very agile and strong. Up goes Hannah. Robson there. Another tackle, and the umpire will bounce it yet again.
Never seen a Port Adelaide side lack this much confidence. They're lacking confidence in their ability to find each other. They must be believing that they can't do some of the things that people have been telling them they can't do. And that's the worst thing that can happen to you. Fiarchi down there, fighting his heart out. Players have only got to believe that they can't do it. You can rest assured that'll what'll happen. And there's no reason why you can't do handballs to the body when they're on. Hannah goes for the freak goal. Goes across the goal mouth and 15 metres around to the right-hand side of the right-hand behind post. Torrens are 9-12, 66. Port 9-9, 63. Russell Johnston front position. Robson from behind, but Johnston gets it to Curtis. Through comes the little rock. Then gets a lovely handball across Leslie. But Chris Lindsay, there's that loose player back across the centre of the ground. If you've got nothing to kick it to, blind kicks don't work. See what Chris Lindsay does this time. Pay's running out to the side. Peter, I think I'd take a chance and kick it to Pay's. When he comes in, Pay's only has to lead in a second and he kick it to him. I mean, it just can't miss. It didn't miss. In fact, he's under-kicked it a little bit, I thought, Peter. He could have given it a bit more strength, the kick. But there's no doubt that this young man is a slightly better kick for distance than Chris Lindsay. Kick number 6 to Andrew Pay's. Sorry, try 11, 5 short. It's a very nice kick. Will the wind bend it a little? It has been a big little. 1 goal to Andrew Payes. Well done to West Torrens. So they go to 9 points in front now. They're 10-12, leading Port Adelaide 9-9.
Well, you picked it well then, Robert. Chris Lindsay wasn't confident that he could get the distance, and he'd be the only one that can judge that properly, and his judgment was to give it to Andrew Payes, and Payes put it through for a goal. And West Torrens heading for their 50th win over Port Adelaide if they can keep this up. But it's certainly still a strong game of football here at the park. 9 points in it.
Russell Johnson gets it down. David Foote intercepts. West Torrens look to me as though they're getting the upper hand. They're finding a bit of confidence. Cunningham gets it away to Tom Hank. Now West Torrens with an opportunity through Justin Smith. He gets it to Colsey. He's been a good player in the centre of the ground. He looks as though he's got a bit bigger and stronger as the years have gone by with his footy. Sims, high in the air towards full forward. Panagaris, he certainly won't fly very high. Patia wants an A-grade bounce. Oh, to the top spinner. He's sending the flipper, I think it's called, isn't it, Peter, when she goes straight on? Torrens 10-13, Port 9-9.
Well, he's had 5 shots at goal. 2 have hit the post, 2 out on the full, and he kicked a goal earlier this quarter. Greg Anderson's got the mark in the back pocket. Port Adelaide rattled at the moment. Anderson now will take his 16th kick. Thought about going short, but now kicks long towards Darren Smith. I couldn't imagine that he's still full forward. Russell Boyd completely missed it. Smith goes for Payes. Payes' kick around the corner goes to the man who kicked it in the first place, and that's Greg Anderson. Dwayne Russell full forward at the moment as Lindsay punches away. Well done, Bruce Lindsay. That was for the punch. The kick was worth a try, but he kicked it out on the full, and the relieving kick will go to Greg Anderson. He must be getting a sore foot. Colsey appears to be in a bit of trouble. He may have in fact pulled a hamstring. He's certainly grabbing around that thigh area. I'd agree with Robert Oatey. He's been a good player. Started on interchange. A big leap there from Cunningham. Player that runs in there is Greg Boyd, but Bruce Lindsay stops him from controlling the ball. And there'll be a throw in right in front of the scoreboard with Port Adelaide trailing by 10 points.
Be a bad loss for Andrew Colsey. He pulled a hamstring if he has to go off. Damn shame, because he's done so well. He's given them a bit of run through the centre. Stephen Sims couldn't get mobile, and Sims hasn't done a bad job up at half forward. Now Port Adelaide through Stephen Williams. Lindsay trying to get back there. Chris Lindsay. O'Brien coming in, but Chris Lindsay just run it down that big long telescopic arm. You don't see any better than that. That's a bit of confidence. Young man that he is. Had a bad knee injury, but he's come back. Hannah misses the ball. Obviously took his eye off it slightly. Must be worrying about that player coming into the side. Trying to read 2 things at once is not easy. So there'll be a bounce just towards the West Torrens attacking region of centre. Long knock forward by Johnston. Russell Boyd trying hard. He has his leg held and he'll take the free kick.
Russell Boyd it is, and he's come up limping as well. As John Economou gets ready to replace Colsey. Colsey certainly coming off the ground now. Chris Lindsay, the tallest man, will mark the ball. And he's certainly a very mature young man. Plays that defensive role pretty well. David Foote. Well, Foote's kicked it straight to Curtis. That's a superb pass if he meant it. Leslie's the running player. Tries to pick out Dwayne Russell. The ball dropping Foote. Short, but Dwayne Russell takes a good mark. Goes for the short pass now to Ginniver. He's at centre half forward, maybe too far out to score. Port down by 10 points. There's a bit of panic there. We're approaching full time now. That's his 11th kick, and he gives it straight to O'Brien. Now O'Brien may just make the distance against perhaps a slight breeze. That's Kinnear doing that, put the lace as O'Brien takes aim, but that ball floats to the right. He's just offline with it, so Port can't take a trick, should I say, at the moment. 9-10, Torrens 10-13.
It's very lucky then for David Foote that in fact they didn't score that goal. That was a terrible bit of play by him from half back when he just ran down the ground and Stephen Curtis was standing there on his own. As Colsey going off the ground, the interchange being made, he kicked it straight to him. Rendell to the outer side. Justin Smith underneath the ball. Lovely pass and well received. He's at half back. West Torrens has certainly picked up in a bit of confidence of late. They seem to be starting to really work now. Tom Hank. Free kick has been awarded though. That free kick will be taken by Cunningham. So John Cunningham from half-back. Right on the boundary line. He kicks to half-forward. Player from behind's Harvey. Hannah coming in, throws himself on top of the ball. Harvey recovers first. But West Torrens very competitive to the ball. Now an opportunity as they go in to the full forward area. Enright it was. Caught me by surprise being down there. 2 Port Adelaide players, just giving you some indication of their lack of confidence. And a trip to Stephen Curtis, and he'll have the free.
Played well in the back pocket, Stephen Curtis. He comes out wide now to Harrison. Anderson will want it next, and he's got a big paddock to move in. Or will he be cut off by Geyer? Geyer's coming at him. Anderson has to kick around the body. Can he find Dwayne Russell? Rendell cuts it off. Dwayne Russell stops him. Rendell takes it to the line. Brilliant defensive work by Steve Rendell. It's at left half forward. Port Adelaide desperate for a goal. In fact, they've booted 2 this quarter against the Eagles 4. We're into time on now. Down it goes to Steve Geyer. Brilliant handball there to Enright. John Cunningham provides the extra run. Hayes wants it. Boyd's in front of him though, and the tackle is applied. Wasn't a bad tackle, Robert. I think Hayes knew exactly what he was doing then.
Yes, it was. He didn't hang on to him very hard. I think when he put the tackle on, he thought Boyd was going to run away, but he didn't get it. He had too good a balance himself, and he was able to stay there, so he's a bit sorry he did it afterwards. Very good mark by Stephen Geyer. Good solid player. He had a very good season last year. Fiarchi coming off. Kinnear coming back on. Port Adelaide players pretty despondent. Lawson. Johnston. Very high. Rowan Smith coming across. He can't get it. That looked like another mark almost to Geyer then. He certainly got the ball fairly well. The umpire decides to bounce it. About 30 metres from the Port Adelaide goal. They are 9-10 and they're trailing West Torrens by 9 points. They're 10-13.
Well, Port Adelaide certainly need a score. We're well into time on now as Darren Smith gets the tap out. Through goes Enright. Rendell again. Kicks away towards Justin Smith. He couldn't take the mark. Conamu it is who floats one towards centre wing. Steve Curtis and Stephen Sims. And also Anderson. Geyer in there as well. Curtis to Anderson. Couldn't get the handball out quick enough. Foot. And he's dragged high. The umpire indicates a free kick to David Foot. The transgressor there being Curtis. Sims gives it back now. 9 points in it. Port Adelaide down and not playing well as Foot goes to centre half forward. Certainly kicks the ball very well by the man in front, Russell Johnston. Lawson provides the run. Kicks up towards centre half forward. O'Brien will have to come in and compete, but he gets there too late. Cunningham a good mark.
He plays on quickly to Enright. Enright's kicks a wobbler. Hard one to mark, but Johnston puts it on the body well. He gives it to Ginniver, first bounce. That's a better handball by Tim Ginniver to Mark Lawson. Darren Smith, all they got to do is find bodies. He doesn't want to give the ball. Then he goes across to Stephen Williams, who's directly in front of goal. Turns his back on everything and says, look, I've got to kick this. So he's setting himself the task. It's certainly not an impossible task from where he is. 30 metres. He wants a well-timed kick here to put Port Adelaide right back into play. Kick number 11. He's made up his mind and he's done the job. It's his first goal. Port 10-10, Torrens 10-13 on Seven's big lead.
Well, that was certainly the best movement by Port Adelaide for the entire quarter, and certainly Darren Smith thought about that one. There was a handball that he could have used, but he thought, I'll have another look. He saw Stephen Williams, and from the moment Stephen Williams got the ball, he said, I've got to kick this goal. He turned around and like a tradesman went back and booted it. 10-10 Port Adelaide, 10-13 the Eagles.
Chris Lindsay and Russell Johnston. Dead heat then, Ginniver in there, Sims coming in. Doesn't get the ball clear today, he can't get it away. Cunningham kicks it wide to the outer side. Pays, as though he was held onto then, he's not going to get a free. Tries to break clear. Russell Boyd now. Port Adelaide getting a bit of motion back into the play. Enright, it's a better kick. In towards the centre of the ground. Fatia. Well, that's a bad kick, that short one to Nowheresville. Greg Boyd's held whilst not in possession. Umpire's not keen to give the free. Ball thrown away by Hannah. Pays, flies it clear. Russell Johnston's back in the defensive action. He looks for the handball. Leslie's worked hard all day. He gets it on to Kinnear. Kinnear over the top to Rowan Smith, like over the top of his head. Darren Smith trying to recover. Robson, oh, that's a bit better take, a bit of smoothness. In towards Foot at half forward. He's got the ball, and he's been paid the mark. Gee, looked as though he was going to drop that. He's on the half-forward line. Port Adelaide have effectively slowed things down a little bit here on that movement. They needed to. Kick number 13. Going towards McIndoe. Oh, the big fella's got it. That's a very good mark. Kept his eye on the ball. Was being juggled. And he had the height and the control of the ball. And Coach Paul Weston just sitting up there very quietly. Very seriously thinking now. I think he'll ride this one right home, Peter. Peter McIndoe. Kick number 5. Very important kick. He's kicked 1 goal this quarter. He kicked their 8th goal. He's crunched the kick, but he's missed. 10-14 to 10-10 at three-quarter time. Torrens leading by 4 points. Out of the last quarter, West Torrens with a chance to get into the final 5 if they can really get themselves going, but they've got to win this game. They're 3 points in front, 4 points in front at three-quarter time. Port Adelaide first into attack. The wind perhaps gone down a little bit. Port Adelaide kicking with it. Spoiled away by Rendell from Russell. Players coming in very quickly. Anderson for Port Adelaide it was. He's on the bottom of the pack. The umpire come in to have a look at something that he noticed on the ground there. Not happy. Obviously Darren Smith came in and decided he'd vent some feelings. John Cunningham kicks the ball back to the centre of the ground. Player in front there, Boyd. Off hands from him. Quick kick by Russell Johnston. Eichner spoils it forward. Up towards the centre of the ground now. Opportunity for Smith as he sends the ball forward to centre half forward. Robson high. He just started to move like his old self late in the third quarter. A couple of his movements through half forward were very, very confident. Now he has an opportunity to send deep into attack West Torrens. High it goes. Players from behind McIndoe. He juggled one like that just before three-quarter time, but not on this occasion.
Martin Leslie, the man in front, now with his 10th kick. He comes out to centre half-back. Port down by 4 points. They panicked a bit in that third quarter, but I think they were let off just slightly when Colsey appeared to pull a hamstring and went off the ground. Darren Smith couldn't mark that one. Sims comes in, a quick kick away. Pays is the man behind, up he goes. One hand, but he recovered brilliantly, Pays. Away he goes through half forward, a long raking kick up to the forward area there. But a good mark to Ben Harris. Stood his ground, and he'll get 15 metres. I think that Panagara thought he was off, and so he applied the tackle. He got plenty. Ben Harris floats one out towards centre wing. Chris Lindsay had it, and then he lost it. Away goes Kinnear. Kinnear runs through centre wing. Oh, the kick, not a good one. He had Harrison running clear, and he didn't give it to him. So it's Enright to Rendell. And floats one back again, and Greg Boyd cuts them off just the defence side of centre wing. It's going to be a good last quarter of football. Both sides desperate for a victory. Big leap from behind. Eichner couldn't take the mark. It's Harrison who kicks it forward. O'Brien's under the ball and marks it. Oh, Tom Hank really gave him a bit of a space then. And O'Brien came in and marked very well indeed. It was his 7th mark. He's now going for his 11th kick. It's pretty active actually for a half-forward player. He's booted 2 goals, and he's a pretty good player, O'Brien. The goal here, very important. Very good kick, straight through the middle. 3 goals, O'Brien. Port Adelaide hit the front. 11-10 to Torrens, 10-14 on Seven's big lead.
Well, West Torrens had an opportunity to save that attacking move by Port Adelaide when Chris Lindsay put his hands up. He was a little bit loose on the take, and when it came off hands, Kim Kinnear snook in quickly, grabbed the ball and sent it into that half-forward line, and then they went on with the job right up to full forward, where Michael O'Brien's always been a danger to West Torrens, and he's kicked his 3rd goal, and he's put the Port Adelaide side 2 points in front.
Port Adelaide relying on this man, Russell Johnston. He's the captain, the leader. Back to Lawson from Johnston. The quick kick forward. Eichner, Stephen Williams. The smash away sees Rowan Smith with the run of it. Justin Smith right on him. There's that many Smiths out there. I tell you what, they're hard to pick up. Rowan Smith again. A long handball out. Harrison had it. Then he let it go. A pirouette through the pack. Torrens defenders everywhere down there. Lindsay got a long one out, but it only went as far as a Port Adelaide player. That's Harrison. Darren Smith's in front and took the mark. In fact, it wasn't Harrison that got the kick forward. was Russell Boyd by the look of it. So Darren Smith, you can see the line of the square there. This is his 8th kick. A powerful player. He got too far under that ball, but he may have the distance. Acrobatic effort there, but it's gone over the line. And a good goal to Darren Smith. And that's his 3rd goal. So Port Adelaide kick away, 12-10 to the Eagles, 10-14.
So Darren Smith, bit of a threat up there in that forward line. Dwayne Russell was shifted to full forward in the 3rd quarter. Darren Smith to centre half forward. On this occasion, the ball coming in from the half forward flank, out from the side. Smith taking the mark. Cunningham not able to spoil away. So Port Adelaide in front again.
The bounce down, we see Russell Johnston and Chris Lindsay. In fact, it was Kim Kinnear who kicked the ball into Darren Smith then. He's having a run on the ball, Kim Kinnear. Out goes Anderson. He appeared to give that ball to the Port Adelaide player in Lawson, but it's Geyer back to foot. The running player, Bruce Lindsay, got a bad bounce. Got the ball back now. He's tackled without it. Umpire didn't see it. Here's a chance now for McIndoe. Quick kick forward, Panagaris. Well, if you're in front, you get those. And Panagaris was exactly that. He was in front. He's a very good goal shooter, Panagaris, and this is his 8th kick. He certainly puts his boot through the ball. Plenty of power. It's fading to the right, but a point only. So a big miss for the Eagles. 10-15 now to the Magpies, 12-10.
Well, in the 3rd quarter, West Torrens kicked 4 goals, 7. They kicked a lot of points in the last quarter last week. They'll really get their mind on the job when they're shooting for these goals. They get their direction right. Greg Boyd. Russell Johnston just floating in towards the centre. Boyd running on from the handball. Well checked by Bruce Lindsay. Ball comes to grandstand side or member stand side. O'Brien, he's always a danger. Russell Boyd. Port Adelaide starting to run a little bit now, a little bit more confident than they were in the 3rd quarter. Rendell behind, he recovers. Eichner. And a good disposal as he gets it towards Enright. Enright's going to have to hurry. It's too slow. Slow motion slowed down. Stephen Williams, Michael O'Brien. Runs around Rendell. Kicks for goal. And he misses. May have hurt himself a little bit then. He's up. I think he was disappointed about missing the goal. 12-11 to Port. Torrens 10-15.
Paul Weston getting a little bit edgy, but that was good work by Stephen Williams. First the tackle, then the handball to O'Brien. And the kick out to grandstand side. Russell Boyd into the back of Steve Geyer. So the Eagle takes a free kick up to centre wing. Oh, good mark, Leslie. Didn't give McIndoe a chance. Leslie goes short now to Geneva. 12th kick, Geneva. To centre half forward. Gee, there's no one back for Port Adelaide, but the big man's got it. Dwayne Russell, there's the run. No, he's going back, thinking about it. The kick's on now. Not cut off, but Stephen Williams has got it. I think he'll get it back again, Dwayne Russell, and he's got it in the pocket. I think he might go back this time and cool down, collect his thoughts, and hopefully for him and for Port Adelaide, kick a goal. Gee, when he had the ball last time, the goal square was open. They streamed down there, but it's pretty hard to deliver a ball to someone in that position. It's very hard. Darren Smith leads again. But the powerful man himself, Dwayne Russell, goes slightly off the side of his boot. In fact, he's booted it out on the full. So the scoreline remains 75-83. The Eagles down by 8 points.
Cunningham goes across goal. Who he just made the grade. Big Chris Lindsay showing some good pace there too as he kicks it to Justin Smith. Knocked away by Harrison. And a good pick up. Smith's with him. No, that's a very good tackle. Holding the ball. Good recovery by Smith. He comes across the centre of the ground. Slightly backwards, if anything. Opportunity now for Rendell. Eichner. Lindsay. Slowly building. Eichner again. Bit of teamwork going on here. That's a magnificent kick, Dale Eichner. Magnificent kick. Just delivered it over the back. Gained another 10 metres towards the goal. And Ian Hanna has taken the mark. 35, 40 metres out. Fairly acute angle. We're 9 minutes into the last quarter. And gee, did Torrens need a goal here. Ian Hanna just setting himself. He's got the kicking ability. Looks as though almost he doesn't want to do it. He says, give it to somebody else. He should be saying he wants to get it. That's the sort of kick he can do. But no, just offline again. West Torrens 10-16, Port Adelaide 12-11.
Very good game of football here now. Very, very competitive. It has been all day. John Harvey kicks it out to the grandstand side of the oval. Anderson behind couldn't quite take the mark. A big pack of players, and there'll be a bounce. Certainly a lot of football left as we're approaching the 10-minute mark. Port Adelaide desperate for a win, but so are the Eagles, and I tell you what, they've certainly improved their football. In the last month they've been very good. Pays to Sims. Sims with the left boot puts it up, gives the big man a chance up there, and Chris Lindsay, but it's Steve Curtis who stays down and very coolly takes the mark. Stephen Williams now at centre half back, tucks the ball under the arm and rugby style takes off. Very good kicker of the ball, Stephen Williams. Oh, good mark. O'Brien is very good at that. He's taken some nice marks today. In fact, he's taken 8 of them. Centre half forward Dwayne Russell had the chance but couldn't take the mark. Eichner, Hank. Good kick away now to Sims on centre wing. He's thinking about a couple of players in the centre. Bruce Lindsay's the one that he should have been aiming for. That was a good mark, Robson. The umpire had a good look at it. Cunningham runs for him, but Robson goes short. Russell Johnston back, one-hander. Couldn't mark the ball, but again, courageous. Stephen Curtis now to Harrison, and he's got it at half-back.
So, Philip Harrison, usually a very good kick. This is a good one. It's up to the half-forward line. West Torrens defence working fairly well at the moment. The Dyker out there again. He's been at everything in this last quarter. Some of his play's been excellent. A little bit unfortunate not to mark that one too. Darren Smith coming out to do the rucking. Russell Johnston dropping back into the half-back line. Another stalemate on the outer side. 26 shots to 23. 26 to West Torrens, in fact. They still find themselves 7 points in arrears. About 11, 12 minutes into this last quarter. Lindsay coming through, he's left the ball behind. The game just slow now. Players came out at the start of this quarter really raring to go. Been some very quick movement. They've got to maintain it, particularly West Torrens. They've got to catch Port Adelaide. Ginniver on the ground, snaps the ball out. Bruce Lindsay coming through the pack like a bulldozer. The players coming at him from all sides. Well done, Lindsay. Gets it up to half forward, but Russell Boyd is there.
Russell Boyd has been in the action a bit. Just the defence side of centre. He's going to boot it down towards centre half forward. The ground covering kick dropping quickly. Darren Smith. Oh, he's taken some big marks today. Hasn't quite backed it up with good kicking, but that's his 8th big mark. And Darren Smith, who in fact was booted 3, now lines up for a very, very important one. His 9th kick. Well, he got under it again. I wonder if the same thing will happen. Acrobatics down there. Dwayne Russell couldn't take the mark. Lee Robson down there working hard. Ginniver. Oh, Dwayne Russell just headbutted Ginniver. Unintentionally, of course, as O'Brien kicks around the body and gets a point, but only just. 12-12 the Magpies. The Eagles 10-16.
It could be a mile out of bounds on the full drop here, Peter, right behind that. But Tom Henk went to take the kick in. Big goal up pressed. He said he'll have it. So away we go again. Can Torrens get a goal? Robson's on the ball, puts himself in front well. Johnston gets away. Canary's caught with it. Players get Enright back in on it. Pays. He's got to get it clear. There's a few Torrens players running on, but they fumbled on the first instance. Darren Smith now diving underneath the pack. And there'll be another bounce at half forward for Port Adelaide. West Torrens have got to get that first handball and that give to get themselves running. It's that sort of confidence that's going to give them the chance. Russell Johnston knocking it to Enright. Enright across loosely to Lindsay. And Lindsay judges the mark well and completes it well. Russell Johnston dropping back up the ground again. Lindsay goes wide of him. Spoiled away by Curtis. Cunningham's there to take the off hands. He's on his own. He's got no one at centre half back. In fact, that was the best place he could have kicked it just about. It's the only place there was any Torrens players. At centre half back there was 4 Port Adelaide.
a good crowd of just over 9,000. In fact, 9,010 people here to witness this game, and they're certainly getting their money's worth as Russell Boyd takes the mark at half forward. Port Adelaide eager for another goal as Russell Boyd gives Dwayne Russell a chance. The big man there can't mark it. Down towards Darren Smith. Lee Robson also, and there'll be a bounce in Port Adelaide centre half forward spot. Just lost a bit of run, West Torrens, and one looks back at Colsey and the effect that he was having when he was running through centre. They haven't got that anymore. Dwayne Russell in front, couldn't take the mark. The umpire has indicated he was being held on to. Rendell cannot believe it. He is saying plenty, and Dwayne Russell, though, has got the free kick, dead in front, 25 metres out. Tenth kick, first goal, a vital one for Port Adelaide, and they go away now 13-12 to the Eagles, 10-16 on Seven's big lead.
Dwayne Russell looks a fairly unhappy lad out there today, but he's certainly been very calm. He's worked at his game all day, hasn't done anything silly, he's just kept working at it, and that was a very good take then in the end, or very good kick rather, from a very lucky free kick perhaps, the Rendell feeling that he was hanging on to him, but Dwayne Russell's kept his cool, and today he picks up the lucky one, and good luck to him.
Well, the Eagles can certainly still win this if they're good enough. 15 minutes to go, the difference only 14 points. The way it comes out of the centre again, Russell Boyd certainly working hard in the last 5 minutes. Stephen Williams uses the body well against Eichner. Stephen Williams again fights hard for the ball on the ground. It's at left half forward flank, and there'll be a bounce down. Been some good players out there today. O'Brien and Smith have been active half forwards, or active forwards for Port Adelaide. That's Darren Smith. Away goes John Harvey now. He's way down from defence. Oh, what a kick, John Harvey. The left boot puts it through for his first goal. In fact, it's a point. Yeah, I didn't think he was getting too excited about it. Obviously not. It was a point.
The goal umpire stood right in the middle of the goal. He was playing tricks on everybody. He looked as though he was going straight over his head. Foot. He's caught holding the ball. West Torrens getting a little bit slow on their give now. They're not playing with that same confidence. Port Adelaide starting to come back. They lost their confidence in the third quarter. Kick number 15 to Russell Johnston into the pocket. Dwayne Russell on the lead. He's pushing the back. That'll cost 15 metres. Stephen Rendell, that's a silly thing to do. On the loss of the mark, there's no need for him just to push him in the back just as a token gesture. Dwayne Russell going for his second goal. He kicked the last goal, going for a back screwy too on a bad effort. Only through for a behind though. 13-14 to Port Adelaide. Torrens 10-16.
Well, where's the spark for the Eagles? It's got to come from somewhere. Bruce Lindsay's the leader out there, and he hasn't been in the game. He may have to put himself into it to try and get them going. Rendell kicks it to Hank. But Hank is going to find it hard to find a player here. Back comes Stephen Williams. Eichner there. Good mark, Eichner. He's at half-back. Sims. Now, we might see some run from the Eagles now. Fatia is caught out of position, and Leslie takes the easy mark. And short to Kinnear. Port Adelaide just content to keep hold of that ball, but they probably need to score a little bit more to make it comfortable for them. Kinnear now looking for Darren Smith. Hank from behind. No mark taken. Eichner really lost the head. David Foote, Pays and Sims. David Foote's in a lot of trouble. He's called for the trainer. It appears to be an ankle. He's in a lot of pain, David Foote. Don't like the look of that. Darren Smith. Anderson. Here they go. Here's a goal coming up. O'Brien's got the ball. Runs into the open goal. Wins his fourth goal. Port Adelaide looking good. 14-14 to the Eagles. 10-16 on Seven's big lead.
Well, that was a great bit of play on that half-back line by Dale Eichner when he got it to Foote. Then Foote tried to crash the pack instead of giving the handball out. He got caught. Now he's in pain because he's got a bad ankle. There's also more pain for West Torrens just by virtue of the fact that they were unable to finish that attack. They put Port Adelaide back on the offensive, and Port Adelaide finished off the play very well. They're 14-14, Torrens at 10-16, and they've gone to a very clear lead now of 22 points, and I think that West Torrens are going to be in a lot of strife to get even close to the Magpie at this stage.
David Foote being stretchered from the ground. It appeared to be an ankle injury, and let's hope it's not too serious. He played very well, kicked 3 delightful goals in the second quarter. Cunningham smashes to centre half forward. Hannah held ground for a long time, but he handballed into an open space which saw Leslie run into it. Not sure where he's going to boot it. He'll go short. In fact, he went too long. Sims had a chance to mark the ball, but it was taken from him. Steve Geyer, a bit of pace onto that left boot. No penetration with the kick. Gee, Anderson ran straight into his own player, and Leslie. Armand, Hannah, clever handball to Geyer from Hannah. Geyer goes for home. The ball won't bend back. A point only with that ball. So that's the third score for the Eagles this quarter, Robert, but they've only got 3 points, and the Magpies have built up a bit of momentum.
They certainly have. In the third quarter, they look as though they were gone for all money, Port Adelaide. They lost all sort of confidence. Due credit to them, they've found their way back into a bit of form now. Sims is hobbling a bit up there. Harris coming through very vigorously there. Gets it on to Mark Lawson. Stephen Williams. Greg Anderson. Torrens player, they're trying very hard. Anderson's too good. That's a great kick. O'Brien, the man who's caused all the strife up in that forward line for West Torrens. O'Brien or Fiachi? O'Brien, correct. And Tom Hank will do the kick in after that behind to Port Adelaide.
Yeah, I'd agree with you with O'Brien, Robert. He's kicked 4 goals, but he's just a very difficult player to handle because he can also mark a pretty high ball and makes him a tough opponent. Torrens player and Smith's in a bit of bother. I was about to say holding the ball, but that would have been silly because he's just got a free kick for a push in the back, I think. O'Brien's kicked 4 goals, 5. He's a menace. 15th kick to Smith. McIndoe there fighting hard, but Russell Johnson, gee, has he worked for Port Adelaide. He's at the bottom of the pack, and there'll be a bounce down centre wing. Yeah, 4 goals, 5 for a half forward is a very, very good performance. And you consider it could be something like 7-2, and I tell you what, conditions out there not easy. The blustery breeze out there in that first quarter, which was hard to handle. A quick kick away then by Kinnear. Ginniver under it, and good mark. Darren Smith is leading into the pocket. Ginniver sees that player. Rendell goes for it, but no, he forgot to spoil, in fact, Rendell. And Smith's got the ball. That's Darren Smith. Haven't seen Rowan Smith for a long time, but he does that. Floats in and out of the game. Now Robson, Dwayne Russell. No mark from either player. Eichner fights hard. Gee, he was going to tap the ball out there. I'm lucky for him he didn't. Port would have got a goal, I think, Robert, if that worked.
I think he was just lucky he had an airy tap then. Robson's back in defence. He's doing a bit of rucking now, Lee Robson. Dwayne Russell over the shoulder. Very, very good goal indeed by Dwayne Russell. His second goal. Port Adelaide really taking charge now. They're 15-15. Torrens 10-17.
Well, fantastic performance from Dwayne Russell, but there seemed to be a lack of bodies, that is, eagle bodies around him. But he did it brilliantly. He sensed that he was on his own. He thought there's no real point in going for a big arc. I'll bang this one over the top of the head. He did just that for his second goal, and he's got better as the game's gone on. 15-15 Port Adelaide, 10-17 the Eagles.
Russell Johnston again. John Cunningham in there this time. Panagaris with a run on the ball. Picked up by Stephen Williams. He's caught, but he's going to get a free kick for a high tackle. He's right in the centre of the ground. Greg Boyd just drifting down from half back. Ball comes to him on centre wing. Members stand side. Port Adelaide certainly have played this game to win. They looked as though they were going to lose. It's a credit to them that they've come back after having their confidence down. Rowan Smith, back he comes. He's tackled by Sims. Mark Lawson. Oops, an awkward bounce. Don't know what he was about there. Long hair, well, that's a bit better play. Rowan Smith quickly into the goal square, very high into the air. Players setting themselves back there, and Chris Lindsay takes the mark.
Very important for Port Adelaide to win, and Rendell goes into the pocket. Good crowd of over 9,000 people sees the ball coming again. O'Brien! Oh, I tell you what, he's a phantom. Gets into that open space, and he certainly has hurt the Eagles. This is his 10th shot at goal. 17th kick from half forward. 5 goals to O'Brien. A very good effort. The ball came in through Harrison. And so Port Adelaide kick away 16-15 to the Eagles 10-17 on Seven's big lead.
Well, Michael O'Brien has played a very, very good game. He's been the difference between the two sides. His movement up on that forward line has been absolutely fantastic. His ability to get to the ball, he's come right across the half forward line. He's worked back into the goal square when it's been necessary. He's come in with the kick rather than being there waiting for it. And some of his play has been excellent indeed. The one thing about him, of course, that is most impressive is his ability to move. He's so smooth with his movement, and his ability to get to the ball is fantastic. And of course, he's got a very good kick to back it up. So if anyone is due for a fair bit of credit today, besides Russell Johnston, is that fella up on the forward line who's really done the job for Port Adelaide.
34 points, the Magpies are up now, and it's been a huge last quarter. They've kicked 6 goals, 5 thus far, and the quarter's not over yet. Darren Smith to Harrison, onto the left boot. Dwayne Russell's under the ball. Robson's all over him. Dwayne Russell keeps fighting. He's got a free kick. Robson held on to him, and Dwayne Russell's free kick there in the left forward pocket. And the way he can boot a ball, as we go into time on, he can kick the cover off it if he really decides to. He really is a massive man. 13th kick, and his game has certainly improved right from the word go. Very quiet early, but he's coming home like a stormtrooper. Slams the ball up forward, and he's kicked it out on the full. It's a big build-up here then, Dwayne, and you went and kicked it out on the full. 16-15 the Magpies, the Eagles 10-17.
That's twice, in fact, he's kicked it out on the full this quarter. 2 goals, 1, and 2 out of bounds on the full. Player coming through there for West Torrens looked like Steve Geyer. I don't think there's much movement there. That's Dale Eichner, isn't it? Went down there. Peter, I lost him. Yeah, Dale Eichner. Badly winded, I'd say. Wouldn't hurt him badly. Panagaris up to centre half forward. Bruce Lindsay in front. John Harvey behind. Almost got the handle away. I think he thought he was going to be paid the mark. No. Another bounce down on centre wing. Dale Eichner not moving a lot there. It's a very heavy hit he took. Very badly winded. Let's hope he hasn't damaged the rib. Bruce Lindsay just knocks it forward. Intercepted by Leslie. Sims gets the handball. That's an inaccurate one though, but it's sat luckily for Hannah. His kick's just as bad as the handball, straight along the ground. Comes back to Hannah. Opportunity now for Port Adelaide. Ben Harris takes it first. Stephen Curtis. Gee, some of the handball today has been most inaccurate. McIndoe gets it from Hannah. Armand's out there for West Torrens. Lindsay dives on top of the ball. That is Bruce Lindsay. Finally he gets it out. Dominic Fatia. Armand. Round the body. Cunningham. No mark. Umpire saying he half volleyed. He comes back to centre half forward where Stephen Williams has followed up Ian Hannah, and he takes the mark.
Russell Ebert will be delighted with this last quarter, particularly with the news that Glenelg has gone down to the Bulldogs at the Bay, and that now places Port Adelaide on 8 wins with Glenelg and just a slightly inferior percentage. So Port Adelaide still in the race for the flag in 1986. A lot of young players, and a lot of players that are improving week in, week out, and they're a pretty exciting outfit when they get their game going, but unfortunately not really consistent enough. Rowan Smith put the ball down that he perhaps shouldn't have. It's kicked off the ground now. Hannah's got it at half forward, holds onto the ball for a long time and then spears one straight over to Stephen Sims. They haven't booted a goal this quarter, the Eagles. They've had problems, whereas Port Adelaide have slammed on 6. They had a similar problem last week. Sims' 14th kick. He tries to pick out Fatia, one-hander, couldn't bring it off. Ben Harris breaks away from the pack, and now the run through Stephen Williams. Normally kicks the ball well. There's that man again, O'Brien. Made one of his few mistakes. Hank got rid of it quickly, and he copped a high one. So it's Tom Hank's free kick, just the defence side of centre wing.
Andrew Colsey suddenly appeared back on the ground. Dale Eichner is obviously pretty bad. They've decided to take him off the ground. even though Colesy can't move, he's had to come on. They've obviously run out of players, West Torrens, at this stage. And Tom Hank, with a 15-metre penalty, takes him up to centre wing. Kicks long to half forward, kicked it in the direction of Colesy. I don't think he needs it. Russell Johnston's there yet again to take the mark on that half-back line. It's big ruck when they drop back into that position so well. They can take the mark if they give them the chance. John Harvey over the back. He's not paid the mark. That's twice this quarter he's gone for a mark that he thought he may have got. Could have even got one for around the neck and in the back and whatever you like then. Very calm, John Harvey, just getting up quietly. Ben Harris, Chris Lindsay. Lindsay gets the ball forward to Peter McIndoe. McIndoe in towards the goal. It's a good kick. There's a red man with a red shirt up there playing with some toilet paper. I don't know what he's up to. He must have gone the wrong place, Peter. Anyway, it's a great goal to Peter McIndoe. Torrens 11-17, Port Adelaide 16-15 as Peter McIndoe kicks his second goal.
Yes, and the man doing some tidying up down there, a bit of house cleaning. But Peter McIndoe's had a pretty hard time out there. Not easy to play in that centre half forward spot in any side. But it was a good running goal. He summed it up well. He saw the open space there and he kicked the ball into it and it rolled through for his second goal. But Port Adelaide too good today at Football Park.
Chris Lindsay and Ben Harris. Ben Harris had a couple of runs on the ball today. He's done pretty well in terms of getting his hand onto it. Ginnivan takes possession and kicks to a bit of space on centre wing. Harrison, Smith after him. Handball long. Anderson running into attack. Bruce Lindsay after him. Handball's a bit woolly towards Geyer. Back to Geyer again. Siren sounds and Port Adelaide with a well-earned win here. Port Adelaide 16-15, 111, defeating West Torrens, 11 goals, 17, 83.